we're dying down here.
That's what I'm talking about. Boy, you got a big one coming, man. By the way, thanks for yesterday turning me on to the Mike Mayo column. I read it on there.
There's more stuff today.
About what?
Apparently, there was a meeting of some pro-gambling group. And you know what?
Well,
you talk about a waste of time.
You mean about casinos?
Yeah.
I got that story.
What a waste of time. That'll never happen in this
Of course not. Let Stan Wertheimer handle it, okay? Let Casino Stan waste the rest of his life.
You talk about a guy who's just been spending his life walking around in circles.
Like farting into a windstorm, man. It's just, you're just spinning your wheels.
Into a 175-mile-an-hour windstorm.
Yeah, well, you know, they keep saying it's not going to be 175 miles because it's got to go over the Yucatan and yada, yada, yada. But what they're forgetting about is after it passes through the Yucatan and through that wind shear, et cetera, and so on, not being a meteorologist, but just having been through several of these things lately, then it gets out of the open waters of the Gulf, just like Katrina did. Yeah. The very warm waters of the Gulf, and then it like makes that right turn and heads for Florida.
It depends on how fast it's going too, whether the winds are maintained.
Well, they're saying it was going 20 miles an hour, which is pretty damn fast. So the faster it goes, the less wind shear it's going to encounter, unless the winds are going to decrease. So they don't know. But they never come on and say, "Well, we don't know."
Yeah, we won't know until for a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, Sunday morning I'd like to stay in. In fact, if I were you,
I would stay in Toronto if I were you.
Oh yeah, we don't have too many hurricanes here.
No.
Or tornado. Well,
I'm thinking about getting out of town.
But, well, either get out if you got to go somewhere this weekend?
I actually don't.
Oh.
The Dolphins are home against Kansas City Sunday.
Well, that's going to be ugly.
Got that game.
Wow. If the real Kansas City shows up on Sunday, that could be really ugly, man. Could be nasty.
Yeah, particularly if Jason Taylor isn't playing.
And let's see, Sunday night the Patriots play somebody.
The Patriots this week?
Sunday night.
They're off this week.
No, are they?
Yeah. Next week they have a big game against Indianapolis.
I thought they played Buffalo. Who plays Buffalo Sunday night?
Actually, Sunday night is...
Oakland, Buffalo.
Oh, Oakland and Buffalo.
There is no Sunday night game this week.
Well, geez, the least they could do is have a Sunday night game.
They have that's because of the World Series. They don't play Sunday night football.
Good. Watch the World Series then, okay? Watch Houston and the White Sox.
You think Houston will get over that home run?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Yes, you do. You know something. At least you know something about baseball.
I know a lot about baseball, but I have no interest in it.
I have interest in one question I want to ask you.
Yes.
Lidge gives up the home run to Pujols.
Right.
Does that put him among the all-time postseason
choke artists?
Goats?
No, I don't think.
I don't either.
It wasn't the last game of the series.
Thank you.
It wasn't like no, I don't think so. Who said that?
The Herald.
Oh, the Herald. What do they know? They wouldn't know about baseball if you shoved a dozen up Barry's butt.
Yeah.
Barry must be on vacation, that little Quisling, because I'm not reading any stories.
Gee, he won't be here to cover the ratings.
Huh?
He won't be here to cover the ratings on Friday.
Yeah, and of course we can always count on your good friend bald-headed Tom Jicka to cover the ratings. Not. He hasn't written a story about anything local. Forget about radio, about TV, since Jesus was a baby.
Speaking of local TV, I want to wish Ed Odell well.
Yeah, I read that article about Ed is going into his own business. Ed, by the way, is a big fan of my show.
Good guy.
Years ago, he sent me a nice thing in the mail, and I just out of nowhere, you know.
I wish him well. He's a very good guy.
Good luck to you, Ed. Congratulations for getting out of the business. Always is a plus. Everybody who ever gets out of this business, radio or TV, always improves, always is on the improve.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the beast out of the business, and he doesn't appreciate it.
He's never been in the business. Anybody in that place has never been in the business. Well, some of us have been, but that's ancient history.
Yeah, ancient being the operative word.
Yeah. Just come up with those checks, Clarence. That's all I care about. Just come up twice a month with the checks. That's the whole deal. Friday, and I understand there was a lot of furniture broken at the other place across the street yesterday. Joel Feinberg just losing it.
Again?
That's what I'm hearing. A lot of scuttlebutt about that.
I haven't heard that. Where'd you get that one?
I just made it up.
Oh.
Just to aggravate him. Friday he's going to be thrown. When he sees those numbers that start with a, oh boy, that's going to be bad. All the money Daddy is spending there. How long do you think that deal's going to go on?
I don't know. How much red ink can you absorb?
Yeah, that's the question. Panthers lost again last night. That's 3 out of the last 4. I forgot about the game. I would have watched a little bit of that, but I forgot all about it. And then by the time I remembered, it was already over 4-3 loss.
Gave up 4 goals again.
Yeah.
Getting guys hurt, too.
Yeah, I see Newendike got hurt, and of course that's the thing. I mean,
bringing those older guys
injured, and old Joe Newendike, and when you sign, I thought it was a good deal when they signed those 2 guys, but when you get to be past 55 and you're still playing hockey, it's not conducive. And those guys both have a history of being a lot of injuries too. So maybe I was counting my chickens before they hatched when I thought they were going to have a humongous season this year. Maybe not. But Geldy is doing a fine job. Nice going, Geldy.
So I need to go stock up on Kugel for the weekend.
That's what I started to say before you interrupted me. You're trying to. I don't want you to gain any weight from it, but if you're going to be like a shut-in on Sunday and maybe even Monday, I would have something in the refrigerator. I mean, seriously, what did you do during the last hurricanes when we had days when you could barely go out?
I bought some sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandwiches.
And I ate them.
With bread.
Yeah.
That must be good for your blood sugar, huh?
I don't know. My blood sugar's okay.
You know the last person who told me that?
That's because of all the medication I take.
You know the last person who told me that his blood sugar was okay?
Fat Rich?
Fat Rich. The last thing he said was,
I'm dying over here.
But anyway, I don't want to lecture you because I know it's tough. Although you could do the breadless sandwiches, get a whole bunch of cold cuts. I told you that yesterday. Get a bunch of pastrami and roast beef and sliced roast beef and some nice deli cheeses.
Yep.
And you just make your own sandwich without the bread. That's all.
Yeah. What a joke.
Okay.
No, you're right. I don't need a lot of sandwiches.
No, you don't need the bread.
But for a hurricane, you know.
Now, you saw the movie Fatso, right?
Yes.
Dom DeLuise. Remember,
yes.
He says, you love bread. I like bread. You love bread. Remember that? He was arguing with Junior?
That's great.
Yeah. I'm not a big bread guy. If I go into an Italian restaurant, for example, or Ruth's Chris where they bring you the warm bread, or a restaurant where they have that nice garlic butter, the real soft garlic butter that you smear on nice warm bread, I can't resist that. So if I'm on my best behavior, I'll tell them, please don't bring me the bread because if you do, I'll eat it.
Yeah, that's what you need to do in restaurants is tell them what not to bring.
Yeah. Just like I used to tell him, don't bring the rolls for Fat Rich, and then he'd reach over and grab the ones off the next table and eat those. He thought nobody was looking.
That's like I knew a guy who was Rich's size, who when he would walk through hotels on his way to his room and there was a room service cart with food left over, used to grab the food off the room service cart.
One of the most incredible stories, we were in Vegas, one of those ill-fated Bob Lincoln trips to Vegas from the station. Remember that, IOD?
Yeah.
And Fat Rich is with us, and we go into, I don't remember what casino it was in. It doesn't make any difference, the buffet. And, when you have the buffet, they put, when you get in the line, they give you like a little card or a little thing to put on the table to show that the table is taken and for somebody to serve you, and that it was paid. So as we're walking through, he takes the paid card from somebody else's table.
And put it on yours?
Sticks it on his table. Oh, it was embarrassing.
It was the Imperial Palace, by the way.
Was it the Imperial Palace?
Ooh.
Well, we sure don't want to start off with them again, do we? Although I'm not going back there.
You stayed at the Imperial Palace?
Yeah. Well, that was a Bob Lincoln deal,
Boy.
We didn't realize that they had all Hitler's cards.
I was going to say, was he a member of the Nazi Party?
I don't want to go through it again, okay? Let's not start. I'm sorry that George brought it up again.
Sorry.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Shame on you, George.
I don't want to have any of your P-Val vacations anytime soon.
Oh, okay.
They're very sensitive. We love the Imperial Palace. In fact, you people that go to Vegas. Well, what's that restaurant that's like almost just down the strip from it, where they love me like crazy, but I never go there because I don't go back to Vegas?
Rosewood Grill.
Rosewood, very good.
Oh, I know where that is.
Man, that's a good place.
Giant steaks.
Gigantic steaks
and torso.
The big tank of lobsters when you walk in here and you pick one out and say, oh, I'll take Jimmy over here. They all have a name or whatever. But,
that place is still there.
Yeah, Rosewood Grill is still there.
Yep.
The best, though, to me, was the Rhapsody in the Tropicana, which unfortunately went out of business. That was so good.
Michael's.
The Rhapsody had the best bananas Foster in...
Next time you go to Las Vegas, go to Michael's on me.
I'm not going to Vegas.
You'll go one day.
I will bet you. I'll bet you Greg Reed's life on it. I'll throw in Matty Bell, too, right now, and Joel Feinberg.
You're on.
This kid will never go to Vegas again. Well,
You're
what
on.
do I need to go there for? I've seen them all. And the last couple of times I went there, granted, there's some very palatial places. I do like the Paris. I like that atmosphere where you feel like you're outside,
Mm-hmm.
But most of them, when you're inside a casino, you look around and they're generic. They could be anything. You know what I mean? They all look the same. It's a bunch of tables and slot machines.
The wind doesn't look the same.
Oh, I haven't been in that.
In fact, I was invited. There's a fight out there on November 12th, and the promoter invited me out there yesterday to stay at the Wynn, and I may do that just to stay there.
Yeah.
Could care less about the fight.
You haven't been there yet?
I haven't stayed there. I've seen it.
Oh, pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah.
Now, where is that? Is that where the old...
It's where the old Desert Inn was.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll take your word for it. I'm not going back. If I want to lose my ass, I can go right out. I can hop in a cab in 20...
If for some reason you have to go there...
Minutes, I'll be at Woodbine. I got 3,000 slots, or whatever they got there. Or I can go an hour and 20 minutes and go to Niagara Falls to the Falls View, and they got 3,000 slots there and tables and that huge race book. What do I need to go to Vegas for?
To have dinner at Michael's. My treat.
No. In fact, they got some really good restaurants in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
I won't be going there.
Why not?
To Niagara Falls?
Someday you'll have to cover a big race at Woodbine. Who knows when that'll be?
I've done that, actually.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm telling you. That day will come again. They got some pretty big races here now and then, and Frankie Dettori will be riding the winner, and you'll come up and we'll go to Niagara Falls to a Falls View.
All right.
It's a deal.
Okay.
My personal cab driver will take us there.
I'm ready.
The same one that's picking me up at 2 o'clock today to take me out to plunge my guts out.
Well, good luck today.
Well, you know something? When you reach this point in life and you've worked all your life and you've been able to put aside a fairly good amount of money, just spend it, enjoy it. What are you going to do? Put it in the box with you when you croak?
I'm with you.
Spend it, man.
That's
spend
right.
It. Plunge your guts out. Have a good time with it. And today being Wednesday, this is kind of like a good midweek. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff for you to plunge on today.
There was racing everywhere today.
Really?
Yeah, I could go out to Calder and do some simulcast.
Delaware Park at 12:45.
Oh, I'm having lunch today with Sid.
Keeneland at 1:15, Hawthorne at 2:10, Santa Anita at 4.
I'm having lunch today with Sidney.
And on Wednesday...
And he wants your phone number.
Wednesday, well, have George give it to you. I'll be delighted to talk to him. Woodbine Thoroughbreds on Wednesday at 6:45, because they don't have harness racing on Wednesday. They have the Thoroughbreds at night, which I like that. Do you ever go to the runners at night?
Yeah, Meadowlands.
Like at Meadowlands?
Sure.
Meadowlands now...
Hollywood Park on Fridays.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's great seeing.
It's kind of fun. I don't know why they don't do more of that.
Well, I can tell you this. The reason that they brought these legislators up to Toronto for the meetings with the Stronach people was because they're lobbying to get night racing down here.
Yeah.
So that's in their plans.
Well, that's not going to go over too well with Pompano Park and with the dogs and the highlight.
No, it won't. But I think that's always been Stronach's agenda to get rid of that competition.
To get rid of the competition?
Yeah, to put those people out of business.
Oh, great!
No, that's been his deal all along.
Are you eating something this morning?
A cough drop.
I see. I knew you had something. Can't fool me even from 1,000 miles away. A cough drop for what? Don't tell me you're getting sick now.
No, I was sick. I was the week you were on vacation. I had a cold, but I worked through it.
Yeah, I had the airline flu.
Oh, yeah.
Cold. The one-day thing, kind of after the trip back.
You get every time you get off a plane.
Good thing I came back a couple of days early because of that flight back. Oh, brother. So for one day I had the raw throat and I thought I was getting sick, and I got a great night's sleep, about 9 hours, and woke up and was rid of it.
That's what I had. I came back from New York and Charlotte, North Carolina, and there it was.
The air on those planes, man, is really bad. What they ought to do is give you your own personal tank of oxygen. Let you breathe some real air. It's bad. Okay, well, I think we killed some good time this morning.
Yes, we did.
And we got the big hurricane coming. We got Wilma and Fred Flintstone. They're all coming on Sunday. Wilma. Sunday morning. They're saying now Sunday morning at about 2 a.m.
And then they go back to the bees, and it's Barney.
So I would go over to the Epicure today, and I'd stock up on a whole bunch of stuff, put it in the fridge. Maybe not today, maybe Friday.
Yeah, I'll wait till it's fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good day.
Bill the Deli's not there anymore.
No.
Can't go back. Tell Sid I said hi, by the way.
I will. And
give him a big kiss for me.
I'll get the number from George.
Okay.
He just wants to call and say hi. It says it's been a long time.
Say hi. Okay. Happy Yasuka, Sid. See you tomorrow, Hank.
Bye.
Oh! Let's abuse some more prisoners. Make them scream nice and loud. Get me some wires and a battery pack. I don't care if they ain't from Iraq. Should be used to the torture, 'cause we're just playing their game.
Oh!
In the past, it had to be worse with Saddam Hussein.
Well, they're making a big simus about Saddam, but he pleaded not guilty, and they postponed the trial till November 28th. So, in spite of the fact that they're all whipped up about that, we want a lot more about Wilma, don't we? That's what people in South Florida and anybody with a brain is concerned about, is freaking Wilma, not about Saddam Hussein and all this other crap. Look at the time already, 10:14. Can that be right?
This is Neil Rogers. Oi! This is 560 QAM.
Anytime they see that we're lacking in the coast, they provide a headline that will lead you by the nose. Who say, they said, is the one to get. Now they have only one big potato left. Don't worry about Sudan. We got 'em. Now we're all healthy and safe. We got 'em. He won't attack us no more. We got 'em. Praise much like Jesus. You say 9/11 is what they got you to believe. Can't get any dumber than a one-party country. You believe what they say, like the gullible fool as they use the state for their corporate tool. I'm dying over here. For the election on, we got 'em. Bush is got his name. You got 'em.
Absolutely.
Get down on your knees. You got 'em.
Look at that. Wilma's expected to weaken.
Pulls out of that area, and it does have its eyes set on Florida at this time. It's still a little too early to pinpoint exactly where. The farther west that it goes in this area, the farther north it will likely hit on Florida.
Oh, please. Not that we wish any bad luck to our friends up northern Florida, but please.
It's also going to be picking up some forward speed as it starts to make that right-hand turn, and we are expecting landfall sometime late, likely, on Saturday.
2 a.m. Sunday, they're saying. That's late Saturday or early Sunday? I'm just telling you that right now. In fact, here's the deal. Hurricane Wilma's sustained winds reached 175 miles an hour, and its pressure dropped as low as 882 millibars this morning, making it the strongest Category 5 hurricane on record ever, with a projected path that crosses southern Florida from east to west.
Oh my God.
This is the lowest pressure on record for any hurricane in the Atlantic Basin ever, since the beginning recorded time, since before Jesus was a baby, since before Abraham met Solomon. Hugh Cobb, a meteorologist at the Hurricane Center, said Wilma was stronger than the devastating Labor Day hurricane that hit the Keys in '35, the most powerful Atlantic hurricane to make landfall on record. But Wilma wasn't expected to keep its record strength for long, as higher disruptive atmospheric winds in the Gulf of Mexico around the hurricane should weaken it before landfall, Cobb said. I wonder if he's kin to Eddie Cobb. I wonder if he ever knew Genghis Khan. Hurricane Wilma appeared determined to make a dramatic right turn towards South Florida, possibly arriving with winds of up to 115 miles an hour on Saturday, though the region could start feeling rain from its fringes on Friday. Okay?
Okay.
I think what we ought to do, and I'm mentioning it now even though it's Wednesday, is starting on Friday, let's have Eric put a thing, which he's done it before. Excellent job, by the way, Eric. Keep doing it. Put the tracking map on our website. Not that most people are going to use our website, but some of them will. So we can, people can keep their eye on where it's going and what's going to happen and whether they're going to be alive or not by Monday. I'd get out of town. I'd go somewhere safe like New Orleans.
Good idea.
You see, they're having a big party there on Bourbon Street again. They're all like boozing. I wouldn't be surprised if the fat-ass governor's kid is there again, too. Boozing it up big time.
Is he out of jail?
Wouldn't surprise me if maybe Noelle is there, too. She has a nose for a good time. She's a party animal. Hurricane Wilma appeared determined to make a dramatic right turn towards South Florida. You see, what did I tell you about God and His aim, man? You people think I'm just a funning you all the time. I'm telling you right now, the Lord is pissed off, man. He is so pissed off at your fat-ass governor. Anyway, it's expected to make a dramatic right turn, possibly arriving with winds of up to 115. I think I just read that. Wilma, the season's record-time 12th hurricane, intensified to a strong Cat 5 this morning, the fastest strengthening ever in an Atlantic hurricane, the fastest ever. And it was forecast to reach the Gulf of Mexico Friday afternoon after marching northwest across the Caribbean. The tightly packed system with hurricane-force winds extending only 15 miles out from the eye was projected to accelerate toward Florida's Gulf Coast and strike near Naples by Saturday evening, right there in the middle of Beasley headquarters. How do you like that,
oh my God.
Joyce? That's what this is all about. God is pissed off at Joyce. You're going to get joiced, Joyce, by Saturday evening potentially as a Cat 4 with 145-mile-an-hour winds after it weakens a bit. Do you hear this? This is a hell of a lot different than what they're peddling, the BS they're peddling on the Certainly Not News Network, where they keep showing it's going to be a Cat 2 when it makes landfall, huh? Potentially as a Category 4 with near 145-mile-an-hour winds. And, of course, as it goes across the state, it weakens because it hits all those mountains, you know, like in Central Florida.
Right.
As it crosses the Everglades, wow. Wilma's near its maximum potential intensity and further strengthening is not anticipated. Well, thank the Lord for that, because he is really, obviously, his wrath is waxing hot, and he is foaming at the mouth. He is sticking that finger out, zap, zap, every time he does it. Yeah. From there, Wilma might barrel just south of Lake Okeechobee and emerge in the Atlantic near Stewart. Oh, not those poor rednecks again. Damn. Possibly retaining 115-mile-an-hour strength, according to the National Hurricane Center in Dade. There hasn't been much between Cape Sable and Miami to slow it down, hurricane panic specialist Stacy Stewart said. Plus, you have Everglades water, which is very, very warm. We could easily be dealing with a Cat 3 on this side of the state. At 5 a.m. this morning, tropical storm force winds extend 160 miles out from the center. Hurricane watches could be hoisted in South Florida by tomorrow, and because of the threat of storm surge, an evacuation of coastal residents could be ordered on Thursday or Friday, emergency managers are saying at this moment, as I speak. If the current track holds, Wilma could be Irene on steroids, said Tony Carper, Broward's emergency management director, referring to Hurricane Irene, which in October '99 left widespread flooding all over South Florida. Remember Irene?
I do.
Remember there was a song about Good Night Irene?
By who?
Who the hell knows? Some old fart. I don't think there was going to be quite as much rain as there was with Irene, but winds are going to be stronger, he said. It's almost the same track as Irene. Under the forecast, South Florida would be on the storm's right, or the more vicious side, on the Sid Vicious side. Not good. I've been thinking about that. Because in your mind, as you see it like going across, be on the right-hand side. And could see up to 7 inches of rain starting as early as Friday morning. The winds would pick up on Saturday, and right through the night they would be raging, it says here. Raging winds, conditions would start clearing on Sunday. Now is the time for folks in South Florida to get their hurricane plan back out and dust it off because the season's not over, Stewart said. There you go. Now is the time. South Florida, they say, is in for a rough weekend. A cold front descending southeast across the country is expected to force Wilma to make that sharp right turn. So there you go. Let's say we didn't warn you here on the very news-intensive Neil Rogers show, on the highly news-intensive WQAM, where we don't even have a news wire, much less a weather wire. What we do, when we want to know what the weather is, we have the water Nazi go to the window and stick her finger out the window. And then she says, Greg, it's raining. And then we know it's, what's going on. Isn't that the way we do it?
Something like that.
Yeah. And then Muff runs up and down, oh, Greg, it's a storm. It's a storm. It goes around. Hey, Duff.
You fairy.
Boy, you are some wuss, man. You really are. You can't complain about his pair because he's an old smoothie, believe me. Look at that. We got almost 400 votes on the poll today. I haven't even said what it is yet because we got some fish to fry, baby. And we'll get to it when we're good and ready.
It's not even Friday.
Speaking of the way this world is going with all these disasters and stuff, another strong earthquake rocked eastern Japan late today, because they're way ahead of us in more ways than one. The meteorological agency says there were no immediate reports of injuries, damage, risk of a tsunami from the quake. The magnitude 6.2 quake centered off the coast of Ibaraki shook buildings in Tokyo and nearby areas, including Ibaraki, Chiba, and Fukushima prefectures, whatever that is. What do you know about that? Your daughter was there. Yes, and got out just in time, by the way.
This is Neil Rogers.
Get back to where it's safe, Florida.
This is 560 QAM.
Oh, my God.
I'm dying over here.
Nibbling on sponge cake. Watching my yacht break. Those Key West residents left the turmoil. Strumming my sixth string while my front porch swings. Those swirling clouds are beginning to boil. Evacuation time in Ritatville.
Absolutely.
I'm saying 'cause I don't mind the assault. Some people claim I should run from hurricanes, but I love freezing seawater salt. I don't know the reason at hurricane season why people start freaking and leaving a fright. So what, it ain't sunny and winds are 120. The weather's just perfect for flying a kite.
I'm dying over here.
Evacuation time in Ritatville.
You fairy.
Alerting people to run away from it all. through this Rita hurricane, 'cause I love freezing seawater salts.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but having lived almost 30 years.
About 30, man.
In South Florida, I just remember the last couple of years. It's like accelerated something fierce, isn't it, or is it just my imagination?
We all discuss it often.
We didn't have to sit on tenterhooks all the time, waiting every week or a week and a half for another one and another one. Maybe a couple of times a year we'd have to go through this. Right?
Hurricane season meant nothing.
But now it's like the end of the world. Oops. Here's the poll result from yesterday. We had 1,675 votes. The most obnoxious character from any TV show ever is. You know who we left off?
I give up.
Paris Hilton. What's that awful show that she's on? It's being canceled. She says it's not being canceled.
It's a reality show anyway, so we nixed other reality characters.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Roseanne, you can't get much fatter or much more real than that. 364. She edged out the nanny. They had a real good battle. Nose to nose, ass to ass. 351 for the nanny. Steve Urkel from Family Matters, 214. He gave it a good shot, but couldn't catch the top pair, 214. And after that, boy, really small taters. Horseshack, Welcome Back, Cotter, 66. Maud, 66. Screech from Saved by the Bell, 63. Mr. T, 46. Fool. Will Smith, 41. Mimi from the Drew Carey Show, that's Screaming Mimi, 41. Gomer Pyle, 40. Fonzie from Happy Days, 39. Don't say it. Martin, 32. Dr. Smith, Lost in Space, 32. Joey from Friends, 28. Is he funny?
No.
Can he sing?
No.
Can he dance?
No.
Is he talented?
No.
Is he good looking?
No.
Ray from Everybody Loves Raymond, 23. Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm, 21. JJ from Good Times, 19. Another goofball. Balky from Perfect Stranger, 17. Fez from That 70s Show, 16. Now, is he kin to Fez Watley from the Ron and Ron Show?
You know what? There's a lot of similarity there.
Yeah. Barbarina, Welcome Back, Cotter. That's John Revolta, who's another Scientologist. Oh, you know what that means?
You fairy.
16. Mork from Mork and Mindy, 15. Louis from Taxi, 15. Little Gary Coleman from Different Strokes, 13. He just turned 97, by the way. He's still 2 feet tall. J.R. Ewing, 13. Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley, Schlemiel Schlemazel, 10. Monroe, Too Close for Comfort, 8. Phil Stubbs from Ed, had 8. Joey from Blossom, 7. Tom Bosley from Happy Days, 7. Karen Willen Grace, 6. Schneider from One Day at a Time, 6. Kojak, 6. Oh, come on. Are you anti-Greek or something? What is wrong with you people? Uncle Jesse from Full House, 5. Daniel from Full House, 5. Laverne from Laverne and Squirrely, 4. Maria Hendricks from Boston Pubic, 4. Flo from Alice, 3. Jane from the Beverly Hillbillies had a pair. Lenny from Laverne and Shirley, 2. And Alice from the Brady Bunch had the Brady Scrunch had solamente uno. Just one. Oh, there's that broad again. She's strange.
This is an extremely dangerous storm,
Jackie.
And even though some weakening is expected, we need to prepare and plan.
She looks a little bit like Christy Krueger and Karen Black.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, every time she has a conference with herself, she always meets eye to eye.
What do you mean by that?
I'm saying that she's bizarre. The judge presiding over the first trial of Saddam Hussein adjourned the proceedings until November 28th, granted the defense request for a delay after the former Iraqi leader entered a not guilty plea. Hussein and the 7 co-defendants were charged with ordering the killings of more than 140 Iraqis in Dujail in 1982. He's already spent a lot of time in jail following an attempt to assassinate Hussein where he was visiting the town. Hussein and the others answered innocent when the presiding judge asked for their pleas. Hussein's lead attorney told CNN he wanted a continuance of at least 3 months because the majority of defense lawyers are not sufficiently experienced in international law in cases of this magnitude. And he said, you got a lousy tude and get out of my face. So they get until November 28th. And then they can start hyperventilating all over again. Okay, here's today's poll, and we already have 432 vote. Now, I also didn't put a choice on there for there is no such thing
I hate that anyway.
No, well, not only that, but in this particular case, anybody who doubts that America, the whole concept in America now is celebrating mediocrity, you must be living on Uranus or somewhere, maybe in Siberia. You must have been out of the country for a long, long time. 432 votes. Who or what best epitomizes America's celebration of mediocrity? George W. Bush, 220. Now, see, the only problem with that, look at that, 444 on the votes, 444. Uh-oh. Wow. The only problem with that is I knew he would win, but, see, mediocrity, by voting for Bush, you're insulting all the mediocre people and things.
Right.
Because he's so far below mediocre, it's there isn't even a category that's been invented yet for him. He makes Gerald Ford look like a rocket scientist. That's how stupid and inept and incompetent and idiotic and pathetic he is. But nevertheless, George W. 220, nobody will touch him, so to speak. The education system, 51. Good thing we came up with that because that's zooming up there toward, well, second anyway. Democratic Party, 40. That's what I voted for. A disgrace, a shame, and a sham. Just, you know what they remind me of? They remind me of Duff. No balls. Weak, wimpy, Drew Lieberman epitomizes the Democratic Party. He's on the poll, too. TV, 30. TV's got...
About 30, man.
Yeah. The NFL, 17. Brownie Brown, heck of a job, man, 16. John Kerry, 15. He did win the election, though, but a little bit too much waffling prevented him from having a comfortable cushion that they couldn't have fixed. Condoleezza, 13, who might be the next vice president, by the way. We'll get to that story, the rumors about Dick Cheney resigning. Harriet Miers, 13. I hear that Condoleezza and Harriet, that somebody's got, maybe Miss Fudge has got those pictures of them doing it like,
yeah, Dirty Harriet.
Ass to ass. Congress, 12. Al Gore, 10. And Drew Lieberman has got 7.
Oy!
Celebration of mediocrity. And again, we apologize to all those mediocre things and people in the world because most of the things and people on this list are way below mediocre. Speaking of mediocre, we got Mo Howard David at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Then we rise to excellence at 4. Mad Dog, Jim Mandish. Nice photo there in the Sunset. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you watch it? Yeah, did you watch it?
Oh, you can watch it?
Oh, that's what you got to see.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'll do that one of these days. I'll do that during one of the breaks. Mad Dog at 4. 7 o'clock it's Hurricane Hotline for Bernie Kosar Steakhouse in South Miami. How those Panthers coming, Bernie? We bought the Panthers. Hey, Bernie, butch up. The Beast at Bernie's at 9. Then Eddie Kaplan show at 10. We got no Panther game tonight. Let's see. The Panthers are home tomorrow night against the Caps at 7. Better like turn it around quick, boys. Crank it up a notch,
Neil
please.
Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Ever wonder what happened to the British supergroup Oasis?
No.
Lots of people thought they'd finally run out of ways to rip off the Beatles. Not even close. Oasis is back with a new CD that's like nothing you've never heard before. It's Oasis. Don't Let It Be.
Be united right away. Under one.
Oasis, Don't Let It Be, gives you a chance to listen over and over again to incredibly original songs like this.
I'd like to be beneath the surface of the ocean in an 8-armed sea creature's cultivation patch with you.
Oasis, Don't Let It Be will move you. It will astound you. It will make John Lennon spin in his grave.
And at the conclusion, the love you receive is directly proportionate to the love you emit.
And look for Noel Gallagher's new solo LP, Abbey Highway, on Snapple Records.
Okay, get this ready. You're right. That's one of the most hysterical things I've ever heard. And we got to play the audio of that on the air from the Sun Sentinel. That is fabulous.
Can we steal it?
Huh?
Can we steal it?
Why not?
All right.
What do you mean, can we steal it? It's public domain, baby. It's pubic domain. They'd love for us to play it. Somebody might actually think the Sun Sentinel is a real newspaper. So what you need to do, because I can't play the audio here other than over the speaker, which isn't going to sound good, you can play it through the board. So go to thesunsentinel.com and then click on sports.
Well, when you're on the homepage, just look on the top right. It's there.
I see. Well, whatever. You can talk them through it. In the meantime, you faxed me the story that I told you about this morning before the show, which I appreciate somebody sending it to me because they had no way of knowing that I knew it.
Well, 1 out of 5 ain't bad.
I see. Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is a great story. The author of a new state law that allows felony charges against owners of dangerous dogs was hospitalized over the weekend after his own dog attacked him. Oh, yeah. Bob Schwartz, who's also Governor Bill Richardson's crime advisor, was hospitalized at University of New Mexico Hospital Sunday night with bites on both arms, said Paul Shipley, a spokesman for the governor. A hospital spokeswoman declined to release Schwartz's condition, but Shipley said Schwartz is going to be fine.
Oh, we're fine.
Schwartz has 3 dogs registered with the city, a boxer and 2 English bulldogs. Schwartz was instrumental in getting a law passed during this year's regular legislative session that would allow felony charges to be filed against owners of dogs deemed dangerous or potentially dangerous and that seriously injure or kill another animal or person. The law was designed to make dog owners accountable, said Senator Sue Wilson Befford, who worked with Schwartz to pass the bill. But I guess when it happens in your own family, that's another story, she said. That's tragic. Wilcox said Sunday her office hadn't received a bite report from University Hospital, which is required when a dog bite leads to medical attention. A bite report. You ever have a bite report?
No.
Well, you will.
Hey, by the way.
Yeah?
As I'm loading up this video and whatnot,
yes?
Notice the poll that they're taking on there right next to the sports section?
What is it?
You might want to alert the audience to it. They're taking an evolution poll. Which one do you believe? You know, evolution, intelligent design, and all that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The newspapers in South Florida certainly haven't evolved very much. In fact, they have devolved since I've been in town. They've taken gigantic steps backward. Where are you seeing that?
On the front page, Sun Sentinel. It's kind of on the right, under the ads.
I don't see it.
It says poll. Well, I don't see the video, so I guess we're even.
Do what I told you to do, okay? Don't pay any attention, little Miss Muffet over there. Click on sports, okay? See where it says sports?
Uh-huh.
Click on sports. And then scroll down, and you'll see a picture. It says instant replay. You'll see Mad Dog with a very funky Michigan sweater on. See it?
I clicked on it.
Got it. Oh, no, well, click underneath. It says Dolphins commentary.
Yeah.
Click on that.
I did.
And then it'll go to the page. It says The Edge. And then where it says instant replay, Sven's instant replay, click on that again. And then it'll come up, it'll load, and then don't panic because it'll go to a page. And then just open the pot on the board. And the audio will eventually, out of nowhere, just like a surprise. Exactly. It'll pop up. Hopefully. Won't it?
I'm looking at a picture. I mean, I opened it.
From the press room at Raymond James Stadium. How come we
the
don't hear the
Dolphins lost to a strong Tampa Bay team on Sunday.
Is this it?
Yeah.
But the myriad Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams possibilities are now in play, and the schedule's about to soften a bit. Meanwhile, Svek's Instant Replay looked to get a fresh perspective from our favorite voice, one that has been silenced for too long. We asked if he would go to Tampa on our behalf.
Jim Mandich. The mere mention of his name conjures images of Michigan, green lizards, and...
All right, Miami! Mad Dog? Yes, sir. The masses, your people, your ditch diggers, if you will, want to know how you're doing. Never better. Fan-frickin-tastic. The only way I could be better is if I were twins. To those fine folks driving around with their windows down, a sincere thank you. How about a quick rundown of the Dolphins now that you aren't paid by them? All right, sports fans. Nick Saban, tough little SOB. He'll get the job done. Channing Crowder, that boy is a man. Ronnie Brown and Ricky in the same backfield makes my toes tingle. And Zach, Jason, Sam, hard to believe it's been almost a decade. Finally, how much does it hurt to not be calling the games? Son, I got the big bucks. I'm happy. Who the hell am I kidding? It's unbearable. Just like Ohio State beating the boys in blue. I long, just one more time, to say, yeah! To go to the locker room for some defensive perspective. To talk about the stench of cow manure emanating from a performance. To share a pop with my play-by-play guy. I'm getting weepy. Cut the tape.
Oh, man.
That's all there is. There is no more.
Yes! Yes! That is sensational.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
I'll have to permanently record that.
It brings a tear to my eye. It's just a beautiful thing. He's crying to the tune of the Michigan fight song. That's great. Nice going there, whoever that was at the Sunset. Who was that?
How should we know?
Well, yeah, we don't know. And we don't care, quite frankly. But it was something actually good that they did. I guarantee you Tom Jicha would never come up with that. 493 votes. I bet you we'll have over 500 by the end of the first. We're not going to go through this again today, are we? 496. Yesterday was a little bit too close for comfort, for my, own amusement.
You don't have to go through it if you don't want to.
I'm not going to. Well, que sera, sera. If we have 600 votes, if we have 800, if we have 55 million, whatever it is, it'll be. Que sera, sera, like Doris Day would say. Remember Doris Day and Rock Hudson?
Yay. She was?
No, he was. Well, he was. 496. Okay, there's what we got. Now, we could add some things out of this poll or not, as the case may be. We got a big fish to fry with this Wilma thing, and we're going to keep you, right abreast. Right on top of it, man. We're going to keep your nose right to the grindstone. Get out of Dodge. Just get out of town. Go somewhere. Go somewhere you'll be safe, like the Keys. Oops, no, that's not it. By the way, all non-residents have been told get the hell out of there in the Keys. They've been ordered to evacuate. In fact, once they saw this new Wilma thing, there probably a lot of evacuation going on down there. But we better not talk about it. Can you imagine? I bet you that the eye of the storm is going to go right through Joyce's desk. Can you see it now?
Oh.
It's going to pass over.
I'm going to sacrifice a chicken just to make it happen.
Yeah, I'd be so pleased to see that. Then maybe we could say crap again on the air if Joyce met Marvin Maker. We hate you, Joyce, and we wish you die a wicked, nasty, horrible death. And that's the truth.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because you're an idiot and you're totally unqualified. You are to this radio station what Condoleezza is to the State Department. You are to this radio station what W is to the White House. You are to this radio station what Jimmy Syphilis is to Dolphin Broadcasting. But at any rate, look, if you believe this story or not, well, let's see if this call is for real. QAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just had 2 Jehovah's Witnesses, run out of my house.
Oh, good.
They were so
always fire a couple of warning shots up in the air is a good idea.
they try to give me that watchtower thing. I told them, no, thanks, I don't believe in fairy tales. And then they try to get me into this whole conversation of all faith and belief. I'm like, no, thanks. If you want to believe that, that's fine. I have my own beliefs.
Tell them, look at the calendar. It's past October 1st, which means if you don't leave within 10 seconds or less, bada bing, you'll meet your maker real soon.
Love your show. Bye-bye.
Nice job, Pally. Just say no to the Jehovah's Witnesses. Couple of warning shots, especially when you see them coming to the door. Anyway, an angry President Bush rebuked political chief guru Karl Rove 2 years ago for his role in the Valerie Plame affair. Sources told the New York Daily News. The Daily News is all over this like stink on Joel Feinberg. He made his displeasure known to Karl, a presidential counselor told the News. He has made his life miserable about this. How do you like that? Do we believe it? I don't know. Bush has nevertheless remained doggedly loyal to Rove, who friends and even political adversaries acknowledge is the architect of the president's rise from baseball owner to leader of the free world. My ass. As Special Prosecutor Patrick Fitzgerald nears a decision perhaps as early as today. Did you hear that? Today, on whether to issue indictments in his 2-year probe, Bush has already circled the wagons around Rove, whose departure would be a grievous blow to already shell-shocked White House staff and a president in deep political doo-doo. Asked if he believed indictments were forthcoming, a key Bush official said he didn't know. Then he added, I'm very concerned it could go very, very badly. 2 verys. Karl is fighting for his life, the official added, but anything that he did was done to help George W. Bush. The president knows and appreciates that. Other sources confirmed, however, that Bush was initially furious with Rove in 2003 when his deputy chief of staff conceded he had talked to the press about the Plame leak. Bush has always known that Rove often talks with reporters anonymously and has generally approved of such contacts, one source said, but the president felt Rove and other members of the White House damage control team did a clumsy job in their campaign to discredit Plame's husband, Joseph Wilson. In other words, he wasn't upset that they did it, but it was a clumsy job. See? A second well-placed source said some recently published reports implying Rove had deceived Bush about his involvement in the Wilson counterattack were incorrect and were leaked by White House aides trying to protect the president. Bush did not feel misled so much by Karl and others as believing they ham-handed and Bush-league way, the source said, kind of like Brownie. None of these sources offered additional specifics of what Bush and Rove discussed in conversations beginning shortly after the Justice Department informed the White House in September 2003 that a criminal investigation had been launched into the leak of Plame's identity to columnist the unctuous Nazi Robert Novak. A White House spokesman declined to comment, citing the ongoing nature, of course, of Fitzgerald's investigation. 10:57. We'll keep our eye on Wilma, by the way.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show.
Rock solid.
This is your brain. Any questions?
From producer Mark Burnett. It starts with 16 castaways. But in the end, only one will be chosen by the Donald to become the new lead singer of In Excess. Survivor, Apprentice, In Excess.
Welcome to Boardroom Council. This is a tough one. Your fire will be extinguished if you don't rock the Raptors on New Sensation. Give it up, everybody.
Survivor, Apprentice, In Excess. Right after Mark Burnett's other news show, The Contender, Martha Stewart.
Okay, Stallone, put him up.
Hey, yo, Martha. Hey, that really hurt. Oh, hey.
It's 11:02 at 560 WQAM. Here's the 11 a.m. advisory on Wilma. Oh, there's that broad again on CNN.
That's a major hurricane.
Okay. Potentially catastrophic Category 5 Hurricane Wilma continues west-northwestern, and a hurricane warning's been issued. What is that?
Flintstones incidental music.
Oh. Hurricane warning's been issued for a portion of the Yucatan. I'll keep that going. I like that, because this is kind of boring. Otherwise, it'll spice it up a little bit.
I got a bunch. Thank you,
Brian.
Brian.
If you got the Flintstone theme sung by the Spice Girls, that'll really do it. At 11 o'clock this morning, the government of Mexico has issued a hurricane warning from San Felipe to Tulum on the Yucatan Peninsula, including Cozumel and nearby islands. Hurricane conditions also possible on Swan Island. At 11 o'clock, that's all there is? Oh. The government of Mexico has issued a tropical storm warning from south of Tulum to Chetumal. I beg your pardon. At 11 o'clock, the government of Belize has issued a tropical storm warning for Belize from the border of Mexico southward to Belize City. A hurricane watch remains in effect for the east coast of the Yucatan Peninsula from south of Tulum to Punta Gruesa. A hurricane watch remains in effect in Cuba, oh my goodness, for the provinces of Matanzas westward through Pinar del Rio and for the Isle of Youth. I wonder if Elian is living there, the Isle of Youth. A tropical storm warning remains in effect for Honduras from the Honduras-Nicaragua border westward to Cabo Cameron. Tropical storm warning and hurricane watch remain in effect for the Cayman Islands. All interest in the Florida Keys and the Florida Peninsula, that's you, should closely monitor the progress of extremely dangerous Hurricane Wilma. Extremely dangerous, okay? Unless you get nervous. Not just dangerous, but extremely dangerous Hurricane Wilma. Okay?
Okay.
11 o'clock, the center of Hurricane Wilma was located near latitude 17.4 north, longitude 83.2 west, or about 325 miles southeast of Cozumel, Mexico. Wilma's moving toward the west-northwest near 7 miles an hour. A turn toward the northwest is expected in the next 24 hours. Maximum sustained winds are near 175 miles an hour with higher gusts. Wilma is a potentially catastrophic Category 5 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Fluctuations in intensity are common in hurricanes of this intensity, likely during the next 24 hours. Hurricane-force winds extend outward up to 50 miles from the center, and tropical storm-force winds extend outward up to 160 miles. Estimated minimum central pressure is 882 millibars, 26.5 inches.
Oh, my God.
26.05. That's the lowest ever.
Oh, my God.
Wilma is expected to produce storm total accumulations of 10 to 15 inches, with local amounts near 25 inches in mountainous terrain across Cuba through Friday. Additional rainfall accumulations of 5 to 10 inches, with local amounts of 15 inches are possible across the Cayman Islands, Swan Island, and Jamaica, man, through Thursday. It's a good storm, man. Storm total accumulations of 4 to 6 inches, with isolated amounts of 8 to 12 inches are possible from Honduras northward to the Yucatan through Thursday. And intermediate advisory coming at 2. Okay, coming at 2. Will we have that? Maybe if it comes in just before the end of the end of the show. Because now I finally figured out how to get that, like, immediately as soon as they put it on there.
Well, good.
I got it. You'll love this story from Bangkok. An ice cream vendor attacked a Bangkok dentist with a small sword, breaking his arm and badly cutting his face, police said today. Oh, man.
Tell me why.
Maybe this guy tied one on. I don't know. Sambun Saisida, 43, stormed Pampoj Sirwang's, I don't know, these names are ridiculous, dental clinic in Bangkok yesterday, assaulting the man because 3 years ago he mistreated Sambun by leaving an infected tooth in his mouth and pulling out a healthy one. Oh, it's that taking out the bad nut, leaving in a good one deal, you know?
Right.
Sambun claimed his alleged error led to weakness in his left arm and leg, and eventually he lacked the strength to paddle his ice cream tricycle cart, forcing him to stop working. Oh, when you can't paddle your cart no more, you're done. Sambun was charged with attempted murder. Police were holding him in custody pending trial. Maybe he can come to Florida, okay? Because I think it's Florida under similar circumstances with the new shoot-'em-up law starting October 1. I think he'd be more than justified. The fat-ass governor would come and testify himself, especially if he could get like some free dental care or some free ice cream for his family. Wouldn't you think?
No, so.
537 votes on the poll already. We're kicking some serious ass, man. That's all I can tell you. Oh, there's Christiana Amanpour. She just impresses the crap out of me, not. 537. She's still got I'm surprised. Didn't they have to do like an operation to get her head out of the previous pope's butt? When he was in the Holy Father. The Holy Father. Anyway, who or what best epitomizes America's celebration of mediocrity? George W. Bush, 264. Way, way below mediocre. Believe you me. Mediocre would be a big improvement. The education system, 68. Democratic Party, 49. What a bunch of wimps. What a bunch of weak-kneed pansies. TV, 38. As mediocre as it gets. The NFL, 20. They got parity, all right. They got crap. 32 crap teams. Brownie Brown, 19. A heck of a guy doing a heck of a job. John Kerry, 19. Harriet Miers, 17. Congress, 16. Condoleezza, 13. Your next vice president, maybe. Al Gore, 11. And Drew Lieberman's got 10 out of 543. We're rolling along here, man, singing a song. The book comes out on Friday. What a pressure-packed week. There might be indictments in this whole Plamegate thing today.
Right.
And we got the book coming on Friday. And we got Wilma coming over the weekend. And we got Joyce is going to get blown off into the ocean.
Please.
Yeah, it's going to pick up her and her desk and blow them right across the Everglades, right out through, right over the top of the station as a parting shot. And then, bada bing, right into the ocean. Never to be seen again. And if anybody deserves it, man, she is so clueless. Although if you thought she was wimpy, I told you about that call I had from the operations manager yesterday.
Yes, you did.
Hyperventilating about something that we've played for years, and I mean, just silly, but that's okay, no problem, no sweat. You know, when you don't have any balls. You know what it reminds me of? Like here they've got a big billboard campaign that's ongoing for the Fan, the sports station, our good friends there. Mm-hmm. And it says, we've got balls, the Fan 790, or whatever the frequency is. 590, whatever. And, of course, they don't have no Donna Shalala here. See, that's the difference. I still say it would be a great idea for Duff to he could spearhead the movement. We could have get together with promotions and we could have a big billboard campaign saying QAM 560, we lost our balls. Wouldn't that be good?
Help us find them?
Yeah. Or no, we lost them. Or we don't have them. No balls. White House watch, Cheney resignation rumors fly.
Oh my God.
This is in U.S. News and actually originated in the Washington Post. It says, sparked by today's Washington Post story that suggests Vice President Cheney's office is involved in the Plame CIA spy-link investigation, government officials and advisors passed around rumors that the Vice President might step aside and that President Bush would elevate, hold on tight, Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Boy. How do you like that, boys and girls? And I tell you, I'm playing the original Condoleezza bit right now.
Do it. Double dog dare you. Double ding dong dog dare you.
I'm almost to knock my soda over on that. Yeah, you do it.
All right.
It's certainly an interesting thought, but I still think highly doubtful scenario, said a Bush insider. And if that should happen, added the official, there will undoubtedly be those who believe the whole thing was orchestrated, another brilliant Machiavellian move by the VP. Said another Bush associate of the rumor, yes, this is not good. The rumor spread so fast that some Republicans by late morning yesterday were already drawing up reasons why Rice couldn't get the job or run for president in 2008. Isn't she pro-choice? Asked a key Senate Republican aide. Many White House insiders, however, said the Post story and reports that the investigation was coming to a close had officials instead more focused on who would be dragged into the affair and if top aides would be indicted and forced to resign. Retire! Folks on the inside and near the inside are holding their breath and wondering what's next, said a Bush advisor, but he added they aren't focused on the future of the vice president, not that at least not seriously, he said, yet. Not yet. Condoleezza for VP, there you go. What a joke. Talk about mediocrity. That's Dr. Rice to you, Dr. Rice. Okay, you want to take a few calls here?
Yeah, well, no, but I want you to.
And I don't know why CNN continues doing this Sodom trial thing, because it's been, he pleaded not guilty, and they gave the postponement until November 28th, and we got this big-ass hurricane that's going to blow the whole half of the state into the ocean, and these people are hocking and chiming about Saddam Hussein, okay?
So seem to believe that there's no...
And not only that, but what about Plamegate, all this other stuff? Have you seen? And that hurricane, whatever it is, earthquake and tornado, they got in Tokyo, got about 2 seconds. We got tsunamis, man. We got hurricanes. We got mudslides. We got torrential rains. We got all this crap, all of these things. We got the bird flu hovering over us.
The
Alfred Hitchcock can't even Tippi Hedren is running for her life. So if anybody doesn't believe that the Lord is really, really getting agitated now, he is pissed off and fired up, and that's not good when that happens because his wrath waxes really hot. And just like when you light a candle and the wax gets really hot and starts dripping down,
It burns.
Did you ever get burned by candle wax?
Sure. On purpose and accidentally.
Remember that Brooke Daniels?
Yeah, I remember.
That story about, huh?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, in fact, she ought to work over there in 790. She had a little bit of that waxy buildup.
But there's no video of that. That would have been a funny one.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Well, anyway, we'll take some calls eventually when I get around to it. I'm all whipped up this week. I have no idea what it is. Something really exciting must be going to happen, like payday next Tuesday. Payday next Tuesday, Clarence. I just mentioned that in passing. See, I've got a new deal with them, and it works like a charm. It seems to be working very well. And it's like right after the previous check, then the next day I start working on Duff and Clarence. Hey, by the way, payday is coming on whatever day, and every single day. Oh, another U.S. soldier dead. That's 1977. We're getting precariously close to the 2000 mark. Now, will that do it when we get to 2000?
No.
Will that be the point where the American people draw the line in the sand and say,
no,
that's just too damn many?
No,
of course not. Just another number on a sheet of paper, because freedom's on the march. 11:13 at 560 WQM. When you're shopping for shoes, please don't take your feet to any place except Brandy's, because they've got the unbeatable selection for you. All the top brands, unbeatable prices, fantastic personal service. Speaking of brands, man, whether you like Rockports, Florsheim, Echoes, New Balance, SAS, Mephisto, they have them all in stock. And they have them in your size, too, right on the shelf, ready to slap on your feet. And Brandy's professional shoe fitters make sure you have a perfect customized fit every time, too. Just ask for Arnie. He'll make sure you get the perfect fit. Brandy's specialize in wide widths as well. Brandy's is worth the trip from just about anywhere in South Florida, which is why they've been around for all these many years in that same great location, while the other shoe peddlers have come and gone. So for comfort, style, fit, value, and selection, always think of Brandy's shoes. 1290 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach, open daily Monday through Saturday till 9, and every Sunday from 9 to 5. And this week, it's the big Boat Shoe Bonanza. Rockport, Sperry, and Sebago, they have special discounts waiting in conjunction with the boat show, so be sure to get your ass into Brandy's this week and save a lot of cash, or do your shoe shopping right on their website at brandysshoes.com.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QA.
It's a terrorist warning. So as you drive on into work, be alert. Boy, the White House says we're all doomed now. Can't be sure where they might strike next. Yeah, we're nervous
of all of the stress. Rumsfeld says we better watch out. He used a word I fear, nuclear. It's a terrorist warning. The government says be prepared. And I'm scared.
I'm dying over here.
They say not if, but when now. Non-specific threats are a joke. Yeah, I think there are hopes they could give me a stroke. I think that I just will ignore it, yeah, and live my life. Enjoy the ride, live my life. I can't abide. Terrorists make me sick.
Don't you always get nervous when I play that in the beginning of it is real, real low, and you think, oh, what happened there? Don't you think that?
No, I recognize the bit.
The tinkling?
Yes, I do.
That little tinkle at the beginning. In fact, let me just play the ass beginning of that again.
It's that.
Just so no, the audience will at least know next time they won't go into a panic. It's like
the real song.
Like that. In fact, it sounds like wind chimes, doesn't it?
I think it is.
Maybe that's what it is. And very appropriate with Wilma coming, wind chimes. See, the big blow is coming. So anyway, speaking of terrorist warnings, that fake we had in Baltimore again yesterday, another one of these phony deals, keep everybody on the edge of their, yeah, there's the real one. Felix and Rascals.
Yes.
Well, I think I maybe caught a toenail there. Federal agents were questioning a couple of people yesterday in connection with the terror thing. They're questioning a couple of people, okay? You know anything? No. Okay, go home. That prompted Baltimore authorities to temporarily close one of two downtown tunnels under Baltimore Harbor and restrict traffic to the other, U.S. officials said. The restrictions were put in place out of what a state police official called, here we go with that catchphrase again, an abundance of caution. Although the FBI said it hadn't been able to corroborate the reported threat. They were imposed as a result of a threat of undetermined credibility to an unspecified tunnel.
Come on, you can do it.
An unspecified tunnel in the Baltimore area, said Kevin Perkins, a spokesman for the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. Maybe they found a pin joint. Maybe that's why they were stopping all them trucks. You know them truckers?
No.
The FBI and other law enforcement agencies are looking for at least 6 men they were told are part of the alleged plot, U.S. officials said. The original source of the intelligence said those involved were Egyptian, but officials did not confirm the nationalities of those being sought. A federal government? Maybe it was a pyramid scam. A federal government official said the source of the threat intelligence has provided some useful information in the past, but Perkins said agents were interviewing certain individuals in an effort to determine the credibility of the information. Certain individuals. According to multiple U.S. officials, the Baltimore alert was triggered by a report that a shipment of explosives was heading in the city's harbor disguised as cocoa. The explosives would then have been used to build... Actually, they got it a little bit garbled. There was James Coco that was hiding him in his underwears, which is easy. Is he still alive, by the way?
I don't know.
Hey, Jimmy.
You fairy.
The explosive then would have been used to build a truck bomb to be detonated inside the tunnel. The latest threat came nearly 2 weeks after a similar warning prompted a security alert in New York, yada, yada, yada. It's just crap. They said the state's alert level was not raised because you don't want to give advance notice to the bad guys. Right. Does that make any sense to you?
No.
The measures lasted less than 2 hours and were lifted shortly after 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Police with search dogs stopped trucks headed for the tunnels, inspected their undercarriages with mirrors. There you go. For some cocoa. Why didn't they check in their cups to see what they were drinking, those truckers? There you go. They're hiding it in their cocoa, man.
Let me try to understand this. If they raise the terror alert, the terrorists will know that we're onto them and abort their plan, and that would be bad.
That's right. So let them carry the plan out, and then if they happen to kill a bunch of people in the process, and we can always say, well, look at all the people we saved. Does that make any sense at all?
No.
Does anybody believe that there was a real threat to Baltimore or New York 2 weeks ago? No. They just lie and lie and lie. We got 583 votes on our world-famous poll. I'm pretty impressed. We'll have 700 by noon. Or my name is Mortimer Snurd. Don't you think?
Well, you kind of look like him.
I bet you the audience know, and Mortimer Snurd was not fat, believe me, or bald or old, but nevertheless. Well, let's see. Mortimer Snurd was what? Charlie McCarthy was Edgar Bergen, right?
Correct.
Now, wasn't he Polly Bergen's daddy? What? I'm serious.
Who the hell's Polly Bergen?
Yesterday it was that French Andy Williams. What was her name? See, now I forgot. What was her name?
I don't know.
Claudine Longet.
Fifi the Frog.
And today it's Polly Bergen.
I'd never heard.
You don't know from Polly Bergen?
No, I know he's.
You better get out some Jergens, man, because if you don't know from Polly Bergen,
I know he's Candace Bergen's father.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Are you sure?
He brought her on stage.
Look up Polly Bergen.
Okay.
See if she's daughter of Edgar Bergen. Anyway, he was the great ventriloquist with Charlie McCarthy and Mortimer Snerd, not to be confused with Paul Winchell, who had, who did he have? He's dead, by the way. Finally died. I kept saying he was dead, and then finally he said, okay, whatever you say. Had him on my show many times on the phone, Paul Winchell. Back when I used to do those boring guests. Oh, you know, another good thing for Friday, you know what, because it's July, August, and September, you know what will happen in September? No Ira with Hank. So we already saw a pretty good uptick in August once that Ira was quit being the anchor around the Humper's ass. And so when September's in there, I think we're going to smell pretty good Friday, you know? Did you get that body wash yet, by the way?
Well, I'm still in my previous jar, the Green
In fact, it seems to me that Polly Bergen had a line of cosmetics, female cosmetics, you know. Not that I would compare her with Joan Rivers, because Joan Rivers is a pig and disgusting, obnoxious bitch. But Polly Bergen, she was a TV person, man. She was in a lot of shows.
She was on The Sopranos, Book O'Brien just reminded me, and I got her IMDb entry right here. It doesn't say anything about being the daughter of Charlie Bergen.
Oh.
That was
Candace. Charlie Bergen?
That was Candace, yeah.
What about Edgar?
Huh? Edgar McCarthy.
I bet you a lot of people want to hear Maureen Dowd's column, lawyering, Naughty Harry, lawyering without a license. She calls Harriet Harry. I love that. You know, she's almost as outrageous as I am. I mean, she's a much better writer because I can't write, but she's almost as obnoxious. But then again, she writes in the New York Times. She has to watch her P's and Q's. We know what Q stands for.
You fairy.
Harry Miers. Naughty Harry. I'll get to that, as a matter of fact, momentarily. Aren't you excited?
Thrilled.
Well, that's because most of the people are too cheap to go on and buy those that new deal on the New York Times. Josh says that thing works like a miracle, doesn't it?
Oh, it's great.
Thanks. You're welcome. The things that I do, man, the things that I do. 598 votes for a measly paycheck twice a month. So we're almost to 600 by the bottom of the hour. Well, we'll be over 600. I'm sure that a lot of people out there getting pretty damn disgusted hearing me count these stupid ass numbers. You know what? It's important stuff. Do you believe me?
Yeah,
you believe it?
No.
No, neither do I. Hey, American Residential Lending wants to make your life a little easier. You can believe that. With over 20 years' experience, ARL offers you custom loan programs that fit your situation, whatever it is. Whether it's the wife nagging you to remodel the kitchen, or you're looking to put a pool in the backyard, or just looking to wipe out mountains and mountains of credit card debt, American Residential Lending can get the job done for you. So call our friend Nelson Yakora at American Residential Lending. They've got more than 2 decades' experience in the mortgage business and access to more than 100 wholesale lenders. ARL can cut your current mortgage monthly payment by up to $500, handle your refinancing to generate some quick cash for you, or even do a home equity loan. And they do it with personalized service and a program that's made specifically for you. Plus, when you close a loan with these folks, they'll give you a free 7-day Caribbean cruise to help you celebrate. How can you beat that? So call American Residential Lending today, toll-free, 1-866-MOVE-ARL. That's 1-866-668-3275. Be sure and tell them that old Neil told you to call. 1-866-668-3275.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
They don't come any better than Todd Keller.
We're moving on now. Gas is so high. The pulse has gone right up to the sky. We're moving on now. Gas is so high. And there ain't no relief in sight. Before I go to the station, I gotta ride me a bank. Takes a lot of dead presidents just to fill up with that tank. Take a look at the gas gauge. The needle's pointing to E. We're gonna fill up. Don't you worry, baby. But now we can't afford to eat. Well, it's moving on up. Price is so high. There's too much demand and no supply. We're moving on up.
Well, there's Max Mayfield. Is he still boring or what, huh? Yeah. Man, is he boring.
Today, and I just want to share this with you to make a point. People asking us, well, is it going to hit Sarasota, or is it going to hit Naples, or is it going to hit Cape Sable, or hit Key West?
Joyce?
And one thing that I'm not going to allow happen on this hurricane is to focus on that skinny black line.
Oh, God.
You know, we've still got several days before landfall in the United States. We don't want to pinpoint this. You know, we just don't want to slice it too thin here. This is going to become an even larger hurricane size-wise, and wherever it strikes in the United States, it will have an impact on a very, very large area. We need to understand that we have to consider all the hazards of the hurricane, the storm surge, and the wave action that will be tremendous with this hurricane, given the intensity and the size. And it is important where the center across of the coast. If it does come on to the southwest coast of Florida, we could have a very, very high storm surge near into the south of where the center across of the coast. Remember, the winds go counterclockwise around that eye, so if you have a hurricane coming into the Gulf Coast of Florida, that storm surge will be highest just to the south of the landfall point. We really want to make sure that everyone in the Florida Keys understands the seriousness of the situation. I'm very glad to hear that they're getting the non-residents out of the Florida Keys starting at noon today. That's a very good move, in my opinion.
When in doubt, get them out, man.
There'll be further actions going on down there as time goes on. Again, it's too early for watches and warnings. I suspect that'll be the first question people ask, and the most likely scenario is that we will put up a hurricane watch sometime tomorrow afternoon. Of course, first it would be for the Florida Keys. There are already warnings up down in Mexico on the Yucatan, portions of Belize, Swan Island, the Caymans, and the western portion of Cuba. So we're not forgetting our neighbors down there. We're coordinating with all those countries. But for the U.S. interest, we really need to pay attention to this, and we likely will have a major hurricane in the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, and we're going to have to deal with it, like it or not.
There you go. Do we like it? No,
I don't like it.
Like it or not. What kind of a comment is that?
Like it or
Sounds a little rednecky to me. Okay, thanks, Max. Headroom. Okay, here, a little bit more about that thing from Baltimore. I told you this before the show. Information about a possible threat that shut down the Baltimore Harbor tunnels yesterday came from a source in the Netherlands, a senior U.S. official said, where they're all stoned off their ass. Kevin Perkins, head of the FBI's Baltimore office, said, at this point, we don't have any evidence that suggests this threat is credible. Any. You following that?
I got it.
However, we are continuing our investigation. We have to follow this to the end. But at this point in time, we don't have any evidence, none, zero, zippity-doo-dah, that this threat is credible. I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, now getting to Maureen Dowd, and we're mighty proud. I only took like one call so far today. Two.
Maybe.
Couple. WQAM, hello.
George is so caught up.
WQAM, hello.
We don't have any evidence.
Hey, Belly.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Yesterday I called you kind of pissed off about the hurricanes.
Yeah.
But how come nobody says something about the, how you call it, about the global warming? Everybody's like quiet. That's what.
Hey, don't you start, you commie pinko, man. We're going to have you deported if you don't cut the crap. Did he say global warming?
Yeah.
You know, it is after October 1st, and your fat-ass governor has said that anybody in Florida mentions those two words in conjunction, bada bing. Okay, so you better watch it, pal. You better get under the bed and stop stirring up the crap. Stop stirring the pot.
Jail.
George said, smoke it if they don't catch you, but don't stir it. Maureen Dowd, naughty Harry, lawyering without a license. I want to hear you say that word, lawyering.
Lawyering.
Oh, see, you said it better. Why don't you read this?
Okay, fax it on now.
No. Maureen says, I was just coming to grips with the idea that a Supreme Court nominee doesn't need to have any experience for the job. Now it turns out that a Supreme Court nominee doesn't even need to always be a lawyer in good standing. Harriet Miers shared a little secret about herself on her application to be an Associate Justice. Earlier this year, I received notice that my dues for the District of Columbia bar were delinquent, and as a result, my ability to practice law in D.C. had been suspended. Did that little dog on the birthday card she sent W eat her dues? Ms. Miers, then the White House counsel, remedied the situation after she got the letter. But weren't the Bush spinners making a case for her by reporting that she was really great at managing the paper flow when she was the president's staff secretary? Now we discover that she could be such a scatterbrain about paperwork that a little tiny thing like being able to legally practice law slipped her mind while she was serving as the lawyer for the leader of the free world. There was another odd, unfocused episode with the Republican Senator Arlen Specter this week. He said that he and Ms. Miers had talked privately on Monday and that she had expressed support for two Supreme Court rulings that established a right to privacy and are viewed as the foundation for Roe v. Wade. Before Ms. Miers could even forget her bar dues again, the White House said that Senator Specter was mistaken, and Ms. Miers called to tell him so. Mr. Specter was willing to say he'd misunderstood and will surely want to clear all this up in the hearings. But maybe he'll wind up sticking by his earlier statement. He said she needs a crash course in constitutional law. The White House gambits to soothe the wrath of the right and flesh out the views of Ms. Miers in lieu of an actual judicial record are creating more confusion. In order to sell her, officials had to expose her by sending her anti-abortion positions from 1989 to the Senate Judiciary Committee. She's on record as favoring one of the most restrictive positions on abortion, actively supporting a constitutional amendment to make abortion illegal except when the mother is actually about to die, never mind if her health might be severely impaired or if she's victim of rape or incest. When she was running for city council in Dallas, Ms. Miers answered yes to all the questions from Texans United for Life, an anti-abortion group, elaborating on only one, whether she would vote to keep anyone who supported abortion rights out of city jobs dealing with health issues. After saying yes, she added, to the extent pro-life views are relevant. The answers clearly reflect that Harriet Miers is opposed to Roe v. Wade. Senator Dianne Feinstein of California said this raises very serious concerns about her ability to fairly apply the law without bias in this regard. With Karl Rove on grand jury watch and Dick Cheney snugly tucked into his underground bunker, W and Andy Carter in control, and the West Wing ineptitude is comic. First, the White House tried to make Ms. Miers seem more conservative by peddling her pedigree as a member of an ultra-conservative evangelical church to its right-wing base. When injecting religion into the hearings backfired, officials started backpedaling and saying she shouldn't be asked about her faith, even though the president himself had said that her faith was a big part of her appeal. That's when her draconian views on abortion came out, and the White House immediately tried to assuage the left. The White House flack Scott McClellan turned on his fog machine, saying the role of a judge is very different from the role of a candidate or a political office holder. Mr. McClellan's answers about the questionnaire were opaque, but were meant to leave the impression that a Justice Miers might view abortion differently than candidate Miers. That's very interesting, since the president cited her constancy as one of her chief attractions, implying to quell conservative worries that she would not be another David Souter. I know her well enough to be able to say that she's not going to change, that 20 years from now she'll be the same person with the same philosophy that she is today, W said. Some Democrats who have interviewed her recently have failed to see her in the intellectual rigor that W saw and find her resume so thin it would not even earn a heavy Hitler profile. That was a Freudian slip. A heavy hitter profile in the American Lawyer magazine. Answering the Senate Judiciary Committee's questionnaire, she said that in her 2 years on the City Council, she dealt with such weighty constitutional issues as zoning. All right. Woo! Heavy duty Marine. She was a heavy hitter. Well, can't you go from being a heavy hitter to a heavy Hitler?
Why not?
Especially nowadays, the way things are going. 626 votes on that poll. We could be damn near 700 by the top of the hour. How do you like that, Josh?
Fantastic.
Well, don't you think if we get to 700 by noon, we're like a shoo-in for 1,000? A shoo-in.
If we get to 700 by noon.
We don't have to, push it. We don't have to jump on it and lean on it and beg and plead and cajole and embarrass ourselves and degrade and humiliate ourselves. God. Oh, that Max Mayfield is still... Yeah, he's still answering a bunch of stupid questions. 630, 600 and...
About 30, man.
On the poll. Who or what best epitomizes America's celebration of mediocrity? George W. Bush, 309. Maybe we'll get to 409. Remember that song by the Beach Boys?
Yeah.
Maybe it was 309. With inflation and everything. Education system, 81. Democratic Party, 60. Wimps. TV, 43. The NFL, 22. As mediocre as it gets. Brownie Brown, 20. Heck of a guy. John Kerry, 19. Harriet Miers, 19. Congress, 17. Al Gore, 14. Condoleezza, maybe your next vice president, 14. I'm gagging on that. Can you believe that?
I believe it. What I don't believe is that
Drew Lieberman's got a dozen. Drew Lieberman. I think on the top and the bottom of the poll, I put him in the same category with Bush. Way under mediocre. Way below. Way below. He makes Duff look like Hercules. That's how wimpy he is. 12 minutes till noon. There's that bimbo on CNN.
Very fast-moving storm, so we're not as concerned about flooding as the storm pushes across the Florida Peninsula. And one other note, I'm talking about New England. There are some computer models that are bringing that storm up towards the northeast, not towards the Carolinas, not towards the Mid-Atlantic, but maybe towards New England. So everybody that lives up there needs to pay very close attention to Wilma. Really, everybody along the East Coast and the Eastern Gulf Coast, because there may still be some changes. There are a lot of uncertainties still. Frederica?
Yeah, he did indeed say keeping a close watch on this storm for at least another 6 days to come still, so it may have quite the lifespan. Thanks so much, Jackie.
That's Jackie Jarris.
Sorry, I was wrong.
I told you. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Did she have like a makeover or something?
I don't know. She looks the same as I've ever.
Oh, she don't look good to me. She's looking really nasty these days. Good. Maybe it's those glasses. Or maybe it was that green outfit she had on.
Oh, green is just bad. Wrong.
On TV. Not necessarily, well, at any rate. Let's see, what day is it? Oh, it's Wednesday. She's a day early. U.S. firms accused of exploiting workers in post-hurricane recovery effort. Here's another disgusting story that's going to make your blood curdle, make your blood boil, and get you all pissed off and fired up. We don't want to do that. Let's throw it away. Now I'm going to read it.
Do it.
Well, we got to take a bunch of calls in here if we ever got any. See, that's just to get them to call, and then, of course, in about 2 minutes when the delay catches up, I'll be just busy with other stuff. What do we got on the poll? There's 660, and it's 10 of noon. Didn't I tell you we'd be right on the ass end of 700 by the top of the hour? Didn't I tell you that?
You said that.
Yeah. I mean, even at 2 a minute, that's like 680. That's close enough for me toward the 700. We got another shot today. Don't tell me we're going to go through this again and get another 1,000 again today. Of course, see, the thing of it is, I don't know if you do it when you're filling in, when you're to fill in. You probably don't.
Do what, like this pushing the poll thing?
No, I don't mean that. No, stick the new poll on there like at 8 o'clock like I do.
You know, I keep meaning to, and then I don't, so it usually goes on right at 10.
Well, that's why you never get the 1,000 votes, because I got about a 280 and a 300 vote head start by the time the show starts.
Sometimes
by the time Hank and I
like
finish talking over the back fence like a couple of old Jew-yentas.
Well, I get behind. You know how that goes.
I see. Some contractors leading reconstruction projects in the hurricane-hit southern U.S. have badly exploited workers and taken away business from local firms, Senate Democrats and labor groups are saying. Housing for workers often lacks running water, and contractors have failed to provide food, training, and wage rates as promised. James Hale, vice president with the Laborers International Union of North America, told a policy conference of opposition Democrats in the U.S. Senate. In one case, workers hadn't been paid for 3 weeks, and at another site there were allegations that security guards were mistreating laborers, said Hale, who supported his allegations with photos. An electrician and foreman with Knight Enterprises cried as he recounted how his team of workers were kicked out of government tents by an out-of-state firm and forced to sleep in their cars. Most of our workers, some of whom had lost their homes to the 2 hurricanes, were sleeping in their personal vehicles and showering in a car wash located on base, Mike Moran said. How do you like that? How do you like to shower in the old car wash?
Yeah, we do it all the time up in Appalachia.
Well, be sure and bring your body wash. You don't want to be dropping the soap up there.
That hot steam does smart when it hits.
Moran's employer was given a 20-month contract to provide power to a camp for military personnel, but the contract was canceled after 17 days. Knight Enterprises alleges the contract was terminated because the firm was paying the prevailing hourly wage, and an outside contractor that was hired paid workers a lower wage. Following that? After Hurricane Katrina struck August 29, President Bush waived regulations that require contractors to pay the prevailing or average wage in a region. That decision was presented as a way of speeding up and streamlining recovery efforts in Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. Senator Mary Landrieu of Louisiana said the federal government should reinstate the contract for Knight Enterprises, which is based in New Orleans. It's my intention to have this contract reinstated and that whoever is responsible apologizes to these workers, Landrieu said. You don't even see pictures like this in the third world, she said. How do you like that? In the third world.
Well, welcome to
Good
it.
golly, Miss Molly. What a disgrace. And the fact of the matter is, you know, this 39% approval rating, that tells you that there's 39% of America that are so dumb that it wouldn't make any difference if he came and dumped on their forehead. It would still say, man, that sure felt good, you know? Just so dumb. That's the sad part. Oh, there's that thing from Taunton, Mass. Oh, dam concerns. Can I say that?
A 6-foot wall of water.
That's Taunton, Mass. again.
In the city of Taunton, Massachusetts, which is a community usually of about 50,000 people, but
they bailed out.
A number of those folks, about 2.
Ted Kennedy will drive them home. I have no fear. Teddy's on top of that, just like those fishermen over the weekend. WQAM, hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Pretty good, pal.
I just turned your radio, and so I don't know whether you had a chance to talk about it or not, but in today's editorial in the New York Times is Thomas Friedman, which I lately don't like too much about it, but I think that he just
wait a minute.
put
Thomas
it right
Friedman?
there.
You're going to quote Thomas Friedman
said.
on this show? I don't think so. Didn't he say Thomas Friedman?
I don't know.
Yeah, he did. Well, what do you mean you don't know? He's one of your people, or at least he's a distant relation.
You figure?
He's been to Taco Bell. I don't know what he is, but I don't want to hear about Tom Friedman. Okay, he's a jackass. You can't have somebody who's a jackass. Well, that's not true. I take that back, because every now and then I'll read a Jesse Jackson thing. Although we've always said that Jesse often makes a lot of mistakes. He's just a philanderer and an exploiter and a phony, and but nevertheless he does every now and then. Rhyming, sliming.
Right.
Timing. Two-timing. But he does have that wonderful love child. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. I like the show just so much better this way, you know?
What way?
Intersperse a call or two here and there and just get on with some business, okay? That's the way I like it, as KC would say. Hey, KC. KC. He's still around. I wonder if he's still got all them birds. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Pally.
Yes, sir.
Hey, 2 for your poll.
Yeah?
Rap music and the NBA.
Excellent. Outstanding. And it is mild. Kind of like, what was that? What cigarette was that? Outstanding and it is mild.
I don't know. Pall Mall.
No. Outstanding
Winston.
And they are mild.
Boca
Maybe
Vinyl,
Winston's tastes good like a cigarette should.
I don't know.
And, I don't know, outstanding. And maybe it was, I don't know.
Lucky.
It's been so long since we had those great TV cigarette spots. Let's bring them back. Come on, let's have some faggots on TV, other than beside Queer as Folk and Will and Grace. 669. Uh-oh, somebody must have made that number up. Guaranteed. Now, did we get those on the poll there? Those were 2 good choices.
Yeah, they're on there.
Well, you are just a little on the testy side. You know, Sam? A little testy.
Maybe it's because he's hungover.
Oh, that's what it is from that thing you dragged him to last night. I thought it was maybe that God is punishing him for all this extramarital sex he's having with his girlfriend.
Yeah, he's having extra sex.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Extras. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lots and lots and lots, and that's why you're going to get lots and lots of punishment, Mister. If you don't repent, don't you understand? These are the final days.
Look, he already filled his quota. Now he's going for extra credit.
Yeah, he filled it all right. 567-0560. Pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. What's that song we got? Over and Over? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you better mend your ways with the Lord, mister. He's going to, stick that magic finger somewhere where you least expect it.
Rectum.
And then you will fear him. I'm telling you right now. Just ask George. He was once one of them holy, roly Jesus people.
Then I got better.
Yeah, then he healed. 11:56 at 560 WQM.
This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
I can't get over with that Huey said today. He's got a lot of noise to talk about me that way. I don't give a crap what that Berry has to say. If he wants to smoke pink cigars, then let him. Why, I'll have you know, I know what I'm talking about. Every morning at the condo, I take the elevator down, and on my way to the car, when I pull my folding basket out, I grab a free condo paper. The boys are back in town. 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 I said the boys are back in town. Why, you little... I'm the god of all you sport old fools. I know everything that's going on in the news. Why, I even know all the new Mahjong rules. I'm hip to the jive, Daddy-O.
Too bad you're going back today. It's a better show when I take your place. I know I ain't no Ed Hoyley, but when they drop, my voice will change.
You little smoothie.
Promo 2 at 560. Speaking of Mo, he'll be on at 2 this afternoon, like it or not. 4 o'clock, it's the Mad Dog for 3 hours. That thing in the Sun Sentinel is just magnifico, man. It's fabulous. Hurricane Hotline at 7 from Bernie Kosar Steakhouse in South Miami. Remember Bernie? He used to be the beak-nosed quarterback and used to be the part owner of the Panthers for about 5 minutes. And then the Beast at Bernie's at 9 with some more of that hurricane crap. And Eddie Kaplan at 10 till 2 a.m. Eddie will have all the final baseball scores, even from the West Coast games, even though they were not playing any. So what's the story? What's on the agenda? The Astros and Cardinals, is that Game 5 today? Josh?
I'm actually not sure.
See, we don't know. Well, Josh has been too busy getting smashed at that thing last night and also other stuff that I talked about before. And so we don't know about the series. I don't really care about it. I know Hank tried to get me...
Not going to watch the World Series at all?
No.
You don't care?
No, because the White Sox, right there. I'm trying to think of any team that would have been in it that would have... If the Marlins would have been in it, I might have watched some. But other than that, not that I'm a Marlins fan, but, just out of, I would have rooted for the Marlins just to be a good yokel local.
You would have hopped on the bandwagon.
Right. I can do it as well as anybody. Even this old fart, I can hop a little bit. 690, man. I'll tell you, we're getting close to 700. 689 is what I got. I don't understand this crowd. Maybe they're all over there with Rush now to get the latest on Wilma, I guess. I don't know what the deal is. Do you?
No.
We get to noon, and then all of a sudden, after we've had this tremendous, spectacular, I guess that the whole audience has already voted twice.
Or maybe they're just all gone to lunch now.
Or maybe they're all out there doing the smart thing and that is getting ready for the hurricane. That's what I would do. I wouldn't worry about some stupid-ass poll on the Neil Rogers show. I'd go out there and I'd empty all the shelves. I'd go to Publix. I'd take every bottle of water that they got. I would take all the batteries. I'd get about 15 different radios and put one in each room and 2 in each room in the house. Right, just in case the batteries run out. I'm serious. I'd be doing some stuff this time because this one looks like it's going to give a big deal as opposed to some of the other ones in the past. At any rate, you do whatever you want. Whatever you have to do, you do it. Just charge it to Greg Riedel. Just put a little squiggle on the bottom. Just write his name and a little squiggle. I'll know he's going to take care of it. Yeah. Trespass. Oh, we got some calls on there, and you're right. I should probably take some of these calls. Then we get this poll really rolling along. Right. We need a few more choices on there. WQAM, hello.
Put your hand up, Chief. Don't you want to watch the World Series?
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, they're panicking over here on the West Coast right now. Gas
Really?
lines, like 30.
That was not a bad Jack Nicholson,
people.
by the way. Not great. But, yeah, what is it?
I said 30 to 40 people lined up at each pump.
About 30, man.
Wow.
Yeah, on the West Coast. It's people are going crazy already.
Really? It's only Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. That they're conditioned to do it, I guess, by the news and stuff.
I'd fill up that bathtub right now if I were you, man.
Yeah. Mediocrity? How about ABC Sports' Al Michaels?
Boy, I'll tell you, the Humper would take great exception to that, but I have no problem with that. He's been around a lot. He's a little long in the tooth for me at this point.
Exactly.
Okay, he's on there. Thanks, Pally. Al Michaels, put him on there. The Humper will really be very upset about that. Yep. I had my finger on that, and you started it up. Boy, you are quick today.
Well, it's all that booze.
We can't even crack 700 votes on this stinking poll now. What is this? 699 my ass. Oh, boy, I'm not doing this no more. This
Keep having those banana nut days, it will be.
What is that?
$6.99 your ass.
Oh. Oh. Let's see, did I have any yesterday? Just 1 pint yesterday.
Oh, jeez. So
what?
Whatever.
It's only one.
Right.
Solamente uno. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, eh?
How's it going,
It's good. In your honor, I just want to let you know I call the Mo-Meister and give him a ration just about every day.
Do you?
And
well,
I had
don't blaming me for it.
Well, I don't blame it for you. I do it in your honor, sir.
I see.
And
okay.
We don't endorse these funny phone
calls
that you're making.
No, we absolutely do not, but go ahead and have a good time.
I had an opportunity to taste gefilte fish for the first time. It kind of sounded funny, so I had to try it. I put some, I don't know what kind of sauce, kosher man-spackle.
Horseradish.
It's kosher man-spackle you guys put on it, right?
What is it?
Kosher man-spackle?
What are you talking about, man?
Come on, think about it, Neil. You got it.
No, you think about it. You're about as funny as a heart attack. Like I said, don't call anybody. Pathetic. 567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. Spackle this. WQAM, hello.
When I'm listening to Todd Kelleher's updates, I like to rub peanut butter on my nipples.
All right. Excellent.
And
There's
I thought
the
I
call
was the
we've been
only
waiting
one.
for. Now we finally make it worth my while coming in today.
That's not the only place I rub it.
Right.
Rectum.
WQAM, hello. I wonder if it's the chunky or the smooth. QAM, hello. Yes, sir.
Always chunky.
Hi, my friend. How are you?
Okay.
Hey, I got one for your poll.
Okay.
That's him.
Oh. Sound like he's talking through a Midas muffler or something. WQAM, hello.
Got cash and fresh ammo. The rest you can get afterward.
All right. He's ready. He's prepared. He read that law.
That's right.
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
First question. You still got that skit, Jimmy and Danny?
Yeah.
I got my kid with me today, and she's got a friend named Jimmy, and I've always told her about it. I was wondering if you guys could play it.
Okay, man, no problem.
And the other thing is,
Kill some excellent time.
George, last week you were playing some instructional tapes when you were opening.
Documentary there.
Yeah. What was the website?
Somethingweird.com.
Thanks, brother.
All right, Pally. No extra charge. What was that about?
I was playing on Friday. We had Film Strip Day. I played a documentary about lesbians.
You had Strip Day?
1965.
Oh, here we go. Lesbians again. Oh, boy. Here we go. I'm going to be hearing about this. No question about it.
Are you?
God, I think Maddie Bell had a point. Just filth and depravity and disgusting perversion.
Right.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Listen, Wilma, I've always...
Wilbur?
I think he got goosed.
Oh, they're come undone.
Yeah. WQAM, like the Guess Who. QAM, hello.
Hey, is this Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, how's it going? I love your show, bro.
Okay.
Okay, anyways, I have a conspiracy theory for you.
Yeah.
I think that Condoleezza Rice is going to take Dick Cheney's place. Then they're going to fake George Bush's assassination. Condoleezza Rice becomes the first.
Okay, great. That sounds really good. Let's see.
We all hit our buttons.
Yeah. 708. Well, that's kind of great. We got over 700. We need to get to about 830, I would think. 8 what?
About 30, man.
By the top of 1 o'clock. We're not going to make that 1,000. We're going to be really, oh, boy, going to be so depressed. I'll tell you one thing. Nobody's going to top that Todd Kelleher peanut butter call. That was the best.
Oh, yeah.
You can smear it, but you can't top it. It's 11 past noon. Oh, look at this. War in Iraq. Is there a war going on?
Downtown Mosul or Najaf or Fallujah.
Right.
With the situation today.
Speak of the devil.
Security along the once notorious airport road in Baghdad has measurably improved.
Oh, yeah.
Najaf, where American forces fought a major...
20 people a day getting
Get her off, man. Talk about a Goyisha cup. She is just pathetic. That's Dr. Rice to you, Neil. Okay. Like I said, Dr. Rice, pathetic. I wonder if she's like instant or, what's the other kind of rice they got?
Regular?
No, a minute rice.
Right, that's the instant.
Oh, I see. What's the other kind? Like regular?
Regular, just
reconstituted.
Rice.
Reconstituted condi. It's 12 minutes afternoon at 560 WQM. We got. Yeah, somebody faxed it and says, answer your question, Condoleezza is brown rice. That's kind of cute. And it says, can you say that without being slapped with a big fat fine? Not even a small fine. How do you like that?
Oh, we're fine.
Well, you never know. That's all right. We can say that. Light brown rice.
Right.
Oh, there's the Tamiflu, man. They're making Tamiflu.
It's made by GlaxoSmithKline.
There you go. And they're getting everybody all whipped up into a frenzy about bird flu. So if the hurricane doesn't get you, you're going to die anyway from the bird flu. So why worry about it? I just walk around out there and like on Collins Avenue, be good. Have some fun this weekend, right?
Gonna try.
Shatner decked by back pain. Old Billy Shatner, good Canadian boy, eh? Michael J. Fox, another good Canadian boy who makes me very nervous when I see him. I know that sounds very insensitive, but I just don't want to see him. You know. I understand he's got his issues, he's got his Parkinson's, but I just can't watch him because he keeps moving around. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
I know.
Boston legal star William Shatner was taken to a hospital from the set of the ABC series after complaining of lower back pain.
Oh, my God.
A spokeswoman said. Shatner, 74, had completed filming yesterday at the Manhattan Beach studio when the problem occurred. He was being checked out at a nearby hospital, but expected to return to work today, or else. The actor who played Captain Jerk in the original Star Trek series received an Emmy last month for his portrayal of attorney Denny Crane on the ABC series Boston Legal. Is that a good show?
Never seen it.
Josh?
No, not me.
Never seen it?
Nope.
Oh, I never seen it. It was his second Emmy for playing the character. It was first introduced on ABC's The Practice. Before Star Trek, Shatner also played the central character in a well-regarded Twilight Zone episode, Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, in 1963, and appeared in dozens of live TV productions and feature films, including Judgment in Nuremberg. First TV show he was on was Medic with Richard Boone. I bet you didn't know that. And they evidently don't know it either because it's not in this story, you idiots. A native of Montreal. He attended McGill University, where a building is named after him. He also breeds and shows American saddlebreds and quarter horses. I didn't know that.
Qualifies him for the director of FEMA.
Yeah, it sounds good. They're better than those Arabians.
Well,
that Brownie Brown was diddling with. 739 votes. We need another 100 between now and 1 o'clock. We can do that. Can we? 41 minutes? Yes. Nah, piece of cake.
You can do it!
Oh, and speaking of that, that's a good thing that we had the Bill Shatner story there about his horse breeding, because the story I told you about from Seattle this morning fits right in now. Trespassing charge in horse sex case. And Enumclaw, and excuse me if I'm not pronouncing that right, but I've never been to Seattle. Huh? How do you say that?
Enumclaw.
An Enumclaw area man who authorities say helped run a farm where people had sex with animals, and where a Seattle man died doing so with a horse.
He was a pimp with a real stable?
Was charged. Did you hear what I just said? And where a Seattle man died doing so with a horse, was charged with a misdemeanor yesterday.
It's good
He just horsing around.
Yeah.
Police began investigating James Tate, 54, and another man who lived at the rural southeast King County farm after the Seattle man died of injuries suffered during intercourse with a horse in the summer, of course. Now, what's that thing? Intercourse with a horse. Da-da-da-da-da-da. How's that go?
A man is a horse.
Yeah. The criminal trespassing charge stems from a July 2nd bestiality session involving Tate, the 45-year-old Seattle man, and a horse in a neighbor's barn, papers say. According to the King County Medical Examiner's Office, the Seattle man died of acute peritonitis due to perforation of the colon.
I see.
Attempts to contact Tate yesterday were unsuccessful. King County prosecutors say it's the most severe charge they could file. Washington is one of more than a dozen states that does not outlaw bestiality. Oh, brother.
Well,
there's no evidence of injury to the animal to support animal cruelty charges, said Dan Satterberg, the county prosecutor's chief of staff. This is the only crime we can charge. I wonder if he's related to Lee Saddleberg.
Remember this morning when you were telling me about that story? I said, is that illegal there? I guess we know the answer now.
There you go. When interviewed by the Seattle Times July 15, the horse owners said they had known their neighbor for years. The couple who asked to have their names withheld to protect their privacy said they were shocked when police showed them a home video of the July 2nd incident that investigators seized from their neighbor's home. The couple identified their barn and their horse. According to the King County Sheriff's Office, which also investigated, the farm was known in Internet chat rooms as a destination for people who want to have sex with livestock. Oh. I'm done. I can't stand it no more. I can't take it no more. Authorities didn't learn about the farm until July the 2nd when a man drove to Enumclaw Community Hospital seeking medical assistance for a companion. Medics wheeled the Seattle man into an examination room and realized he was already dead. When hospital workers looked for the man who had dropped him off, he was long gone.
Oh, yeah.
As Ernie Harwell would say, long gone. Using the dead man's driver's license to track down relatives and acquaintances, investigators were linked to the Enumclaw farm. Because the other man who lived at the farm wasn't there the night the Seattle man died, he wasn't charged with trespassing, Satterberg said. Tate will be arraigned October 27. He faces up to a year in jail and a $5,000 fine if convicted. The Seattle man isn't being identified because his family asked that his name not be released. The man's brother said he understands that prosecutors can't file a felony charge, but remains disappointed that Tate won't face more than a year behind bars. In the wake of the man's death, State Senator Pam Roach has said she plans to draft legislation making bestiality illegal in Washington. A little bit overdue,
man.
I knew they were kind of liberal up there in the great Northwest, but that's a little bit too liberal for even some of us perverts.
Hey, you don't hear the animals complain, do you?
Oh, God. Okay, who or what epitomizes America's celebration of mediocrity? That's our poll question today. We got 745 votes. 745, we're still alive. George W. Bush 368, and I'll say it again, not even close to mediocre, not even anywhere near that standard. Way below it. The education system 103, especially in Florida and the Deep South, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Democratic Party 66, TV 47. Boy, it is so bad. Thank God I got my 80 million channels on my cable, my digital cable. Thank God for that. As a matter of fact, we might even watch a little bit of Leaf's Lunch right now for you.
Truck and tore up his knee.
I see, there you go. TV 47, the NFL 26, Congress 22, John Kerry 22, Brownie Brown, heck of a job 21, Harriet Miers 20, Condoleezza 17, your next president, Al Gore 14, Drew Lieberman 13, rap music 3, the NBA's got a pair, and Al Michaels has 1, solamente uno out of 752. I bet you Hank's going to be like foaming at the mouth about that. He might go out and buy 4 pounds of pastrami. Let me say it again. I would stock the refrigerator. Not with a bunch of perishable stuff, of course. Not with, like, frozen stuff. Although I guess it's not a good idea to stock. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, after that story, I'm going to livestock the refrigerator.
No, listen to me, because that's the first stuff you eat is anything that might be perishable, right. And then you go to your canned goods after that.
That is correct.
Of course, if you lose your electricity, then you know all that stuff is going to spurl, so eat it fast. Invite a whole bunch of people over. Crack out all those Omaha steaks that you got, all them great ribeyes, and all those fabulous bratwursts from Omaha Steaks. Court nominee, this is just a little bit more about Harry Miers. I just love that. You think that Marina's trying to say something there?
Yes.
Huh? I think she's really trying to say, hey, Harriet.
You fairy.
President Bush's Supreme Court nominee, Harriet Miers, pledged support in 1989 for a constitutional amendment that would ban abortions except when necessary to save the life of the woman. Ms. Miers expressed her support for such an amendment in an April '89 survey sent out by Texans United for Life. The disclosure virtually guarantees that Ms. Miers will be questioned heavily during hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Abortion Rights and whether she can separate her personal views from legal issues. As a candidate for a seat on the Dallas City Council, Ms. Miers answered yes to the following question. If Congress passes a human life amendment to the Constitution that would prohibit abortion except when it was necessary to prevent the death of the mother, would you actively support its ratification by the Texas legislature? Ms. Miers answered yes to all the organization's questions, including whether she would oppose the use of public money for abortion and whether she would use her influence to keep pro-abortion people off city health boards and commissions. Ms. Miers also said she would refuse the endorsement of any organization that supported abortion on demand, would use her influence as an elected official to promote the pro-life cause, and would participate in pro-life rallies and special events. But Ms. Miers also took a position that upset some conservatives during the '89 campaign, saying that she supported equal civil rights for gay men and lesbians, although she didn't support repealing a local ban on sodomy. A copy of the '89 survey accompanied the 57-page questionnaire that Ms. Miers filled out for the Senate. The Senate questionnaire, made public yesterday morning, includes material ranging from routine biographical data to Ms. Miers' views on judicial activism. But Senator Chuck Schumer of New York and a member of the Judiciary Committee was not impressed. The questionnaire was bipartisan and reasonable, but the answers are disappointing, spare, and unilluminating, he said. They're disappointing and unilluminating. They're going to grill her ass, man. You'll see. Make no mistake about it.
I can smell it now.
I got to have a little... it's the change of seasons now.
Right. Get your Vicks.
No, not Vicks. Just a little drop of soda. Just a drop.
No, but get some Vicks to share
like Marlon Brando said. Just a drop. Bobby Blake, haven't heard too much about him lately because that civil trial is going on, and we got bigger fish to fry. In fact, there's so... Oh, and if I... Look at this. Speak of the devil.
You're beautiful, and just whatever things you say to somebody...
I'm going to tell you right now, seriously, you people in the media need to be taken out and just whipped and thrashed. You need to be drawn and quartered. It's pathetic.
Who's this guy?
This Daniel Horowitz.
Yeah.
Most people would know Daniel Horowitz from Vladimir Horowitz, right?
Right.
What are they talking about? Oh, well, he's a commentator for MSNBC, and his wife got killed. Who cares, okay? I was just about to say we don't hear any more about the tuba in Aruba, or Terry and her tuba, or any of this other stuff, It's the hysterical piece of garbage du jour that the media uses to obfuscate and to draw everybody's attention away from the obvious. With all this heavy duty, with Plame Gate going on, with the hurricane coming, with the ineptitude and the fraud after Katrina and Rita, all this other stuff, and they're worried about the Daniel freaking Horowitz. Well, guess what? Your mama. That's my comment to him. And by the way, happy Sukkot.
Saturday Night Live. You wished she was live. Then, when she was live at the Orange Bowl, you wished she wasn't. Now you wish she'd hit the road, and she is. It's the Ashley Simpson Why Is She Live Tour. You'll wish you had worse seats. You'll wish you'd go back to lip syncing. You'll wish you could get a refund.
All the pieces of me.
The Ashley Simpson Why Is She Live Tour.
You make me wanna lie.
The Ashley Simpson Why Is She Live Tour. It's the live event that'll make you wish you weren't.
Thanks to whoever faxed this in. It's an excellent choice. It epitomizes exactly what we're talking about. Ashley Simpson.
All right, we'll put her on there.
And you know who else to put on there?
Who?
Paris Hilton.
Okay.
And you know who else to put on there?
Who?
Victoria Gotti.
I wouldn't give her mediocre.
Well, I mean, if we can give Bush mediocre, that's the best we can do. I mean, maybe one day we'll do a poll about what best epitomizes America's celebration of way beneath mediocre.
Who's the most objectionable, creature?
No. We just got through doing that yesterday, didn't we?
Was it?
All you kids out there, that's what smoking too much bad, cheap weed will do to your brain, man.
Hey.
You can't remember what you had for breakfast this morning.
I don't smoke cheap weed.
What did you have for breakfast this morning? See?
Cuban sandwich.
Cuban sandwich for breakfast? Oh, my God. That Miguel is rubbing off on you.
No.
Anyway, getting back to Bobby Blake. A defense attorney in the wrongful death lawsuit against Robert Blake yesterday tried to bolster the theory that many people wanted the actor's wife dead. And as George has told us for a long time, the bitch had it coming.
Right.
And I second that emotion heartily. Attorney Peter Ezell cited a letter written by Bonnie Lee Bakley to her probation officer that claimed, "I've almost been killed a half dozen times." Neither Ezell nor Blake elaborated on what Bakley was referring to. Blake indicated the letter was written between November 1999 and June 2000, when Bakley was pregnant with the couple's daughter, Rosie, now 5. Poor little Rosie. Is that Cracklin' Rosie? Blake was acquitted of murder in March, but Bakley's children are now suing him for damages. Neil Diamond really just annoys the hell out of me. You want to know why? Because he really believes he's a singer. That's what bothers him. He takes himself seriously.
I think you're an anti-Semite.
Very disturbing. And the fact that you told me he was Jewish just makes me more anti-Semitic. Bakley was acquitted murder March, but Bakley's children now suing him for damages. I don't understand this. The actor who didn't testify in his criminal trial has to be. Oh, I see. There's part. That's why I can't understand it, because like the right-hand margin is missing here. He will take the stand in the civil trial. He's been on the stand since last week. How come they're not covering any of that? We have to keep hearing about Daniel Horowitz, and nobody even knows who the hell that is, much less his wife. And meanwhile, Bonnie Bakley and our good buddy Bobby Blake, with nothing more. Blake has repeatedly denied killing his wife. He claims he left her in the car to go back inside to retrieve a handgun that he brought to shoot her. Then he went back inside. Blake was also questioned yesterday by private investigators who had looked into his wife's past, including a mail-order business which she used nude photos of herself and promises of sex from men to get money from men. See, there's something missing there. Well, she's dead. Does anybody care about Bonnie Lee? Bitch had it coming. Next case.
And as far as their scummy family is concerned, they got it coming too.
791. This is lots of fun. We're going to do it today, Josh Cordes. How do you like that? This is like a bee in your bonnet, or whatever else is on it. Maybe some peanut butter on it. 791. We're going to have 800 before you can say that Greg is an idiot. I can say it, because everybody knows it. Hey, we got the Momeister coming up at 2 to prove it. Wait till you hear this. More. I don't want to start spreading this propaganda about global warming. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have said that. Ocean warming threatens Antarctic life. Sea ice melts and glaciers shrink at an accelerating rate. Decline of stocks of krill hits the entire food chain. We're destroying the world. I think we were born about, what was that song? Born Too Late. Who did that? The Ponytails? Born Too Late. I better look it up, shouldn't I? Remember that song? Way before your time. Born Too Late. Oh, I'll find it. I got my big, heavy billboard. I better get a new one of these because this one's falling all apart. Have you got that song?
No.
You don't?
No.
Now, I still don't understand the way you got...
Born Too Soon. Listen, 1960 up. So obviously it's before it. It wasn't a hit past 1960, that song.
Well, Born Too Late by the Ponytails was a hit in 758, July 58. I had it right. The Ponytails. How do you like that?
Very good. I don't have no
your old friend Jeff Cohen is getting a chuckle out of that. Or maybe even Woody Graber. Remember Jeff Cohen that used to like us a lot?
He still does.
No, he doesn't. Until Berkeley screwed that all up. Hey, Berkeley, by the way, everybody's forgotten about you, honey. She is really doing one hell of a job. Her and Todd Dreck, man. Beep, beep, beep. We got this one coming on. We got that. Yeah, right. The damn good thing that my livelihood doesn't depend on that crowd. I'll tell you that right now. Or there'd be some real hell to pay, especially that bitch. 794 on there, and by the time we come back after the next break, we'll be over 800. So what I say we need by the top of the hour, about 8:20, 8:30, something like that?
About 30,
8:30. Huh?
Something like that.
We'll have it. We're going to ease on in this time, unlike yesterday, man. I had Green Apple Quick Step for hours after that. Anyway, you will after hearing this from The Guardian. Scientists working in Antarctica have discovered an alarming rise in sea temperature that threatens to disrupt populations of penguins, whales, seals, and a host of smaller creatures within a few decades. No wonder those penguins are off to such a lousy start.
Penguins, not after that movie we saw. Oh,
even with Sid the Kid Crosby. What movie was it?
The March of the Penguins. That is such a big hit.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Hockey movie? A new study shows the ocean west of the Antarctic Peninsula is warmed by more than a degree since the 60s, confounding computer models and experts who believe that the combination of ice, winds, and currents would keep the water cool and shield fragile marine creatures from the effects of climate change. This is the first evidence that the key southern ocean is getting warmer, a finding with potentially severe implications for wildlife. Lloyd Peck, a marine biologist with the British Antarctic Survey, said the sea temperature is going up in a way that wasn't predicted. This makes me more worried for the marine animals. The evidence we've got in the models we've been looking for at said sea temperature was not likely to change much in the Antarctic. A 1 degree increase puts us into the region where the animals are pushed to one end of their biological, physiological, and ecological capabilities. In other words, pretty soon they're going to be saying,
I'm dying over here.
Animals that live on the seabed around Antarctic, where the summertime water temperatures currently peak at about 0.5 degrees Celsius, are sensitive to small shifts in temperature. In water just 2 degrees warmer, mollusks became unable to bury themselves in seabed sediment, limpets cannot turn over, and scallops lose the ability to swim. And I do love scallops, especially broiled in butter. These changes would make them more susceptible to predators, disrupting the food chain and quickly endangering larger animals and birds. If the warming goes on at the same rate for 50 years or 100 years, then lots of populations of animals I work on and maybe entire species will be at risk, Professor Peck said. How do you like that?
Don't.
And the public sits back, and they're talking about stinking Daniel freaking Horowitz, whoever the hell that is.
This is
David,
Neil
Daniel,
Rogers.
Dennis,
this
whoever.
Is
Yitzhak.
560 QAM.
Oh, W!
On
come from Crawford, Texas, with a guitar on my knee. While they died in Louisiana, I raised cash for the GOP. Oh, Katrina, don't put no blame on me, 'cause I come from my vacation for a photo opportunity.
Swing your partner round and round. Now do a little swimming through New Orleans town. Swim to the left, to the right, here we go. Sling a little mud, now do-si-do.
Oh, Katrina, why didn't those people flee? 'Cause it's worse in Louisiana than it is for an Iraqi.
Bush took responsibility after Michael Brown resigned. I bet you Brown has second thoughts about taking it in the behind. Where was FEMA? Broken levees, FEMA was nowhere in sight. FEMA! Even with warning, FEMA's boss wasn't bright. When the storm was over, water was everywhere. But the biggest disaster was that Mexico beat you there. They beat FEMA. No bid contracts, they went to Halliburton. FEMA responds more quickly when it's rich people hurting. When it's rich people hurting.
Absolutely.
FEMA!
1248. We got 821 vote on there. What I tell you, we'll have like even more than 8.
About 30, man.
By the top of this hour, man. We're gonna slide in there, just like Jackie Robinson slid in the home plate, stole home in the World Series '53. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And it was Yogi getting all bent out of shape, and the Aflac duck was squawking and yelling. You'll like this story, George. It's right up your alley. Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bestiality?
Second grade, even better than that. Second grader brings pot on school trip.
How much?
Well, I'll get to it. Second grader who brought more than a dozen bags of marijuana.
How?
A second grader who brought more than a dozen bags of marijuana to school will not face criminal charges, but his uncle will. The 8-year-old student at Dunbar School in Bridgeport, Connecticut, found his uncle's stash and brought it on a school field trip Friday to show friends, police said. A teacher found the boy stuffing bags of pot into his pockets during the trip to Yale's Peabody Museum of Natural History. Remember Mr. Peabody?
Yes, I do. Sherman.
We immediately contacted the State Department of Children and Family. You know, Peabody, Mass. I was thinking about this the other day, about you got to hand it to the people in New England, man. They sure know how to, they have these bizarre way of pronouncing. For example, like there's Concord, Michigan, but in New Hampshire it's Concord.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like not Peabody, but Peabody. And it's not like, now Framingham is Framingham, but the other ones are like H-A-M, like Stoneham and Wyndham. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, it's just kind of strange. Anyway, we immediately contacted the State Department of Children and Families because we were more concerned about the youngster, said Michael Giannotti, a spokesman for the school system. After an investigation, we decided not to suspend the youngster because we don't feel there was any malice on his part. And maybe he shared with the teachers. His uncle, 18-year-old... I bet you when I said his uncle, you thought like some 40-year-old guy, right?
I thought 20-something.
His uncle, 18-year-old Albert Davidson of Stamford, Connecticut, was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to sell, possession of marijuana with intent to sell within 1,500 feet of his school, and risk of injury to a minor. He was released after posting a $1,000 bond. If he had a scale, by the way, we're going to blow him away. We're going to send that SWAT team in there and blow his crap away. How's that kid doing, that Martinez? What was his name?
We could never pronounce it, remember?
Oh, that's right. Well, whatever his name was.
And it wasn't
he's still dead.
A spick name either, or we would have.
826 votes. Yeah, he had a scale, you know. He was a dealer. He had a scale. He was 23. He was a dangerous guy. Right. And the SWAT team went into the big, bad SWAT guys, and they blew his crap away because he looked really dangerous. And that was before October 1, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
826 on this poll. Man, I got a feeling that we're going to do it. I can smell it. Oh, no, that must be Ashton Kutcher on this, Coochie-Coo on this promo.
Take it off.
No, can't say that. What is this stupid movie? Guess Who? Is that the movie?
I don't know.
Is that such a movie?
I don't know.
He's bad, man. He is so bad.
He is bad.
Everything he's in is crap. Although
really
you said
bad.
that 70s show was good in the beginning, I find that hard to believe.
It was cute, but I was
What could have been good about it?
The redhead.
They had that little screamer on there who's still on the show. They had Ashton Kutcher, who definitely is an old smoothie. Make no mistake about that. He ain't got nothing. And everybody on that show is just annoying.
The parents were the funny things in the show.
I see.
But the
I'll take your word for it.
I watched it.
5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. We got Wilma coming this weekend. We got the big ratings book for the summer coming out on Friday. We got maybe some indictments any moment coming out in the Plame gate. And who knows? It's going to be a really heavy-duty week. See, I always pick the right times to come back from vacation.
Yeah.
Now, if you recall, back in 2001, I was on vacation in September.
Right.
And I came back home on a Sunday, and I went on the air on Monday, and everything was just fine. I came back Tuesday morning, and bada bing, it was 9/11.
Right.
Yeah, the day right after I came back.
It's your fault.
WQAM, hello.
I'd like to get a message to Hank.
WQAM, hello.
I'd like to get a message to Hank.
Oh, man. It's twins.
Yeah.
That must have been the Olsen twins, Johnny and Eddie. Remember Johnny Olsen?
I remember Jimmy Olsen.
Still dead. Both. WQAM, hello.
Jimmy and Danny and Jimmy.
Oh, I forgot
Jimmy
to play
and
that. You're right. I forgot
Yeah.
to play that. Thank you.
Center.
Huh? Well, I'm sorry. You know, when you get to be old and senile.
Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy.
Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny.
Danny and Jimmy.
Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy.
Jimmy and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. We have a mobile from Miramar. Hello?
Oh, yeah, can you hear me okay? I got a question
Go ahead.
about your Jimmy and Danny situation.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and
David Woodley.
Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. We'll be back with more about Jimmy and Danny after this word from Ballyawam's Apartments, where every apartment comes with its own Frigidaire.
12:53, so we actually did get that in there. Thank you so much, by the way. You like this story also. Sydney, Australia. Group condemns chicken choking toy.
Come on.
True story.
Estoy estrangulando el pollo por acá.
There you go.
I've seen that toy.
A chicken toy that squawks and flaps its wings when strangled is grossly irresponsible and sends the wrong message to young children, a spokesman for a leading animal welfare group said yesterday in Sydney, Australia. Well, they sure got their problems down under, don't they?
Apparently they don't have any.
The toy is manufactured by a Taiwanese company and is widely available in toy and electronic stores across Australia and marketed for kids over the age of 3. A product description on the website of J-Car Electronics, a major Australian importer of toys, says, grab him by the neck and he'll squawk and cluck like mad, flapping his wings and feet wildly as if he's really being choked. But Michael Beatty, a spokesman for the Queensland State branch of the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, said the toy was grossly irresponsible and sent the wrong message to young children. What's next? Burn a cat? Shoot a dog? Beatty said. Children of that age are likely to turn around and try the same thing on their pet bird or even the cat or dog. Then they're going to wonder why the animal fights back. JCAR's managing director, Gary Johnstone, said he was amused and mystified by the RSPCA's response. I would have thought that they would have better things to do, like saving real animals from cruelty, Johnstone said. This is a toy that's used to relieve stress. It's meant to be a bit of a giggle, kind of like, yeah, just like that. That's exactly right. That toy is for a little giggle here and there, right?
That's cute.
At any rate, quit choking.
These crazy people.
12:56 at 560 WQAM.
Boy, it's the 1 to 2 hour.
Absolutely.
The White House sent somebody to his studio. They said he'd get paid if he plugged Bush's plans on the radio. P-A-Y-O-L-A, payola. They walked up to him, offered $240,000 to spin a few lies in an envelope. There was payola. P-A-Y-O-L-A, payola. P-A-Y-O-L-A, payola. Well, they talk real nice about no child left behind and got taxpayers' cash each time. News got around that he collected a fee. They said he's in the pocket of Bush Cheney. Well, Armstrong Williams, the radio guy, bet he regrets taking bribes. He got sucked into payola. P-A-Y-O-L-A, payola.
P-A-Y-O-L-A-K-O-L-A. Have you seen the spectacular job that Eric has done on our website?
I haven't checked it out, but I know
Well, take a peek at it
on
right now, man. Right at the very top. There's the tracking map from the National Hurricane Center. But even more importantly than that, underneath it, it's got all the logo. There's the QAM logos. It says, how will Hurricane Wilma affect South Florida sports and the gambling odds? Keep your radio tuned to 560 QM for exclusive team coverage.
Oh, that's very cute.
All right.
Oh,
huh?
That's great.
That is great. Nice going, Eric. Surprised that Josh wasn't right on top of that. Didn't even see it, did you?
I'm looking at it now.
Although the highlight, definitely the Mandage thing from the Sun Sentinel. Man, that's incredible that a horse manure newspaper like that has got somebody on staff to come up with something creative and really a real panic like that, as only our Mad Dog could be. He'll be on 4 to 7 this afternoon, by the way, following his close personal broadcast partner, the Momeister. Well, those two just are in a love fest. You think? No. 8:49, and we got an hour to go till 2 o'clock. What do you think? 8:49, 151? Huh? About 2.5 votes a minute. So make a half a vote right now. Now, I'm doing this story with great trepidation because I know. For example, yesterday's poll, obnoxious people, most obnoxious characters on any TV show. Yeah. The winner, hands down, would either be Jonathan or what the hell's her name from Guiding Light, Ross's daughter. What the hell's her name?
Who?
I can't even think of it now. But at any rate, it would be one of them. Dinah. Nothing could be finer than to blow away Dinah.
The winner for what?
But they would win the most obnoxious TV. But we don't have any women listening, so only women and old fags like me watch Guiding Light, so nobody would know who they are, Jonathan and Dinah. There couldn't possibly be more obnoxious characters in the history of TV than those pair. So in line with that, this story, too, I do with great trepidation because most of the guys out there aren't busy going shopping in the supermarket for, like, hand soap.
Hand wash?
Not soap. What do they call that? Well, dish liquid. And what's the other stuff? I got it right in my kitchen sink there.
It's liquid soap.
Liquid soap. And I warned you a long time ago, months ago, I said, do not go and get the antibacterial. Make sure it doesn't say that on the label. Please. And now it says it seems hard to go wrong with hand soap that kills 99% of germs encounters, but critics of antibacterial soaps in the home say there's plenty to be concerned about. How do you like that? If it isn't the earthquake, if it isn't the hurricane, it's...
Oh, my God.
Soap. Don't drop it. A government advisory panel will take a look at this tomorrow. The popularity of soaps and other products claiming antibacterial properties skyrocketed during the last decade as consumers turned to them as a defense against household illness. But some people contend that a number of the products, especially those that use synthetic chemicals rather than alcohol or bleach, pose the risk of creating germs that are resistant to antibacterials as well as antibiotics. Those critics say antibacterials are no more effective than regular soap in reducing infections and illness. The FDA, in briefing documents posted on the Internet ahead of tomorrow's hearing, said the agency hasn't found any medical studies that definitively link specific antibacterial products to reduced infection rates. Unlike antibacterial products, regular household soap helps separate bacteria from the skin so they wash down the drain or attach to the hand towel when the hands are dried. Antibacterial soap kills the bacteria outright. It kills them. Manufacturers disagree with many of the critics' claims. While both sides point to studies they say support their point of view, an FDA panel of independent experts will take up these concerns in a pubic hearing tomorrow. How do you like that?
Well, good.
Good.
Let us know.
Critics like Dr. Stuart Levy, president of the Alliance for Prudent Use of Antibiotics, says these products should be banned for use in healthy households. Instead, he says, keep them where they're needed, in hospitals and in homes with very sick people, and at greater risk if they get a bacterial infection. We run the risk of changing the kinds of bacteria we confront every day in the home, said Levy, a professor of medicine and molecular biology at Tufts University School of Medicine. He says the small percentage of bacteria that survive a brush with a soap may develop resistance to it. What's more, he says, some surviving bacteria may have an improved ability to pump out all threatening substances, including antibiotics used to cure infections. How do you like that? When in doubt, they're pumping it out. So just, do whatever you want, because we're all going to croak one of these days. It's just, part of God's plan, man. He works in very mysterious ways. It's part of the plan to suffer on earth, and then if we are real nice and do all of our, P's and Q's, then we can go up there and be with the Lord. Right?
Right.
We can be up there with Tracy Lord. I'll leave her to you. 871. I'll look for Brandon DeWilde. I'll have a full-time search. Hey, Brandon, where are you, sweetheart? 871. Who or what best epitomizes America's celebration of mediocrity? George W. Bush, 426. There ain't nobody close to the Bushmeister, even though he's so far below mediocre that we don't even have a category. They haven't invented a category that low yet. Education system, 123. And he's a good product of it. Democratic Party 72, TV 49, garbage, man. Gets worse and worse and worse and worse. NFL 28. Downtown Brownie Brown's got 25. Congress 24. Harriet Miers 23. John Kerry 22. Condoleezza, maybe your next vice president 20. Wouldn't that be something? Al Gore 16. Drew Lieberman is run on Al's butt 15. Now, isn't that interesting that they ran as a ticket and they're right there together? Isn't that appropriate? Drew Lieberman, the guy that cost Al any chance to win, even with the election, well, he did win, but outright. That was it. And there's nobody talks about that. I'm the only one that's got the balls to open up a big, fat, stupid mouth. You don't put an Orthodox Jew on the ticket and accept people in the South, rednecks in the South, going to vote for an Orthodox Jew for a vice president.
Especially
no chance.
Namby-pamby.
Yeah, right. Rap music 10. Paris Hilton 8. Ashley Simpson 3. Al Michaels 3. How do you like that? Victoria Gotti 2, and the NBA's got a pair out of 871. So we need 129 votes in 53 minutes. That should be 875, 125.
Cake.
Yeah, piece of cake. Don't be so sure. Remember yesterday we had a battle in, man. They were playing with us yesterday. They were toying. They're sitting there, well, now I'm going to click it. Now I'm going to wait. Then I'm going to click it. They're clicking it. They're playing games. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got one for your poll. John Leguizamo. 40 million Hispanics in the country, and the guy is everywhere.
Who?
John Leguizamo, the actor.
I have no idea who that is.
So-called actor.
Does anybody know who that is?
Yeah, he's in a lot of movies.
Never heard of him.
Okay. He's just mediocre.
Okay, thanks.
99. What's my name?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. WQAM, hello. Now, you see, when you bring it from the bowels, that's what always impresses me a lot. When you bring it from the toes all the way through. 567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. Man, there could be like a whole department of psychiatry on talk show callers, you know? A whole level of whatever.
I think it's worthy of a study.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's get some money to conduct a study. We got a lot of expertise in it. WQAM, hello.
Okay, I'd like to add Regis Philbin and Jay Leno to your poll.
Two good choices, okay, even though I like Regis, but that's good. What's the big simus with Regis? He's been around for 100 years. Now all of a sudden he's a hit?
I think that's over.
Is it?
The whole Regis thing.
Supposedly he's off of that show, although he's, I guess, keeps hanging on.
It's big, Neil. It's bigger than both of us.
Yeah, well, I always held that Notre Dame thing against him anyway. I like Regis, but, he's very mediocre is him. And who's the other one? Oh, Jay Leno. Oh, boy. Woo, man. I'll give you another one. Well, we got TV on there, but these are TV people. How about Bob Schieffer? Is that okie dokie with you?
Okie dokie.
Good. Here's some good news. Finally, Jesus, I feel so guilty passing along all the bad news, man. Hurricanes, earthquakes, disasters. Man fires shots from a building in downtown Miami.
That you're looking at. At this point, we have had no reports of anyone on the ground being hit and no one being hurt, including police officers. Initial reports from the police were that first responding officers were also fired upon, but at this point, again, no reports of anyone being hit. This is a relatively new building, about 4 years old. It's in an area of redevelopment in Miami along the Miami River that separates it from downtown by only a couple of blocks. I can see the county government building practically right next door, which houses the office of the mayor of Miami-Dade County and all of the administrative offices.
Oh, my God.
So at this point, police have cordoned off a wide area around this building, so it is affecting downtown traffic in particular today, on a day when most people up till now had been so concerned about the hurricane lurking out there. Now all eyes focused on this 10-story building and whoever is inside of it. Kira?
Now, Rad, obviously, well,
hey, Kira.
Maybe it's not obvious, but do SWAT officers know which apartment the shots are being fired from? And if they do know which apartment, which window, do they know who lives in that apartment? Is it possible that the person that actually lives in that building is the one firing those shots?
Now, don't tell me Joel is involved in this. I mean, the book hasn't even come out yet, Joel. Don't lose it.
Police know and what they tell us are always two different things, but presumably if they do know which apartment it is, because they say two of the windows face the river and one other window.
Is it Rod? It says Rad Berkey.
Rad.
So they know what unit it is. If they know exactly who's inside and what started all of this, at this point they're not telling us. They're trying to cope with the situation, and as we follow what's happened in situations like this in the past, they'll try to set up some kind of an avenue of communication.
Okay, well, good. We got some nut job in downtown Miami in a building firing some shots. These are probably doing target practice. Getting some of the, just letting off a little steam before the hurricane. Wouldn't you think?
It's good to be small when you have snipers running around.
Speaking of people with no hair, how's Miss Mark Potter doing these days? Oh, and speaking of no hair, what a segue into our spot for Chuck Alfieri. Charlie's been helping the famous and infamous look their best for over 30 long, amazing years now because
About 30, man.
nobody else does it like Charlie. You never recognize his work because it looks like real hair. That's the difference, man. All the other systems, they look like straw. They look like muskrats. They look like a joke, a laugh. But Charlie's natural hairline system looks like real hair that's growing out of your scalp. Nobody will even know it's a piece. It's 100% undetectable, and Charlie's work is completely guaranteed. You have nothing to lose but that ugly, shiny bald spot that makes you look so much older. You try Charlie's system for a month, for about 30 days.
About 30, man.
After a month, if you don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, all you do is return it for a full refund. Make the call today, toll-free, 1-800-321-2413. Tell Charlie you heard about it here on the Neil Rogers Show, and he'll knock an extra $200 off the regular price, $800 of the natural hairline system. Don't forget, the secret to a great hair system is to make sure nobody can tell you're wearing one, and Charlie's system is as natural as it gets for any amount of money. It's affordable, too. Call them today and say goodbye to your bald spot forever. Call 1-800-321-2413. That's 1-800-321-2413, or on the wicked web, it's charlesalfieri.com.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QA.
You're listening to the aptly titled Al Franken Show, the flagship show of Air America. I have a comedy bit here. That's the wrong. Would you? Here it is.
Franken, it's funny guy. And he has bloggers too. It's the Al Franken Show. Blog.
That was sent to me from Ugas Belch, who lives across from the Pizza Town, USA in Garfield, New Jersey. A very, very talented individual. Thank you for that. We have my old friend Tom Davis on the phone. Hi, Tom.
I can't believe how bad. This is just, it's awful. I'm ashamed of ever being associated with you.
Well, the latest Arbitron shows us as number one against dead air.
You stink!
That Tom, always such a panic. Joining me in a studio today and sitting across the desk from me is the author of Deep Fried Ham and Butter Beans, Miss Delary.
Hello.
Hi, Della. So, do you think Bush is a liar?
Hello, all my children, they be so fine.
Well, it's nice to know you're still alive.
You look hungry, child. You like some macaroni and cheese? I got some cooking right off the oven. That old diabetes make me not feel so well. When I eat that soul food, my tired old feet start to swell. Then I fall down, you know.
There she goes again. Anyway, somebody says, put Al Franken on the poll. Absolutely. Al Franken, mediocre. Also, somebody says, add Ben Affleck. It says vanilla would be a compliment. If we're going to put Ben Affleck, which we should, because I think he also epitomizes this very well. How about J-Lo?
Okay.
No?
Sure.
I mean, granted, both are several notches below mediocre, but that's as low as we can go today. So.
I think she's another extreme case of whatever she is.
Yes. Okay, let's get them both on there. And George Lucas, somebody says, has scaled new heights of mediocrity with episodes 1, 2, and 3. It says. George Lucas. Well, they sure turned on him fast, didn't they? And rightfully so.
He turned on us.
Yeah.
Right, unloading all that swill.
Crap.
Yeah.
They hate you, George. I mean, Lucas.
Oh, me too.
Appeals court allows... I was going to give this good news several minutes ago, and I interrupted myself for all the bad news about the shooter in the building in downtown Miami. He's just shooting gunshots out. He's just, having a good time. Maybe he's just celebrating because the October 1st law is now 18 days in effect, right?
Right.
We got 903 on there. I bet you if I refresh it, we'll be a little bit higher than that. Maybe, like 904.
Mm-hmm.
905. See, surprise.
Ooh.
What do you got?
905.
905. That means we need 95 votes in 40 minutes. That's like 2.5. So vote a half a time and then another half a time. We'll do it. Appeals court allows Hatfield to sue the New York Times. A federal, remember this? Not Bobby Hatfield. Now, which one was it? Was it Billy Medley? I guess it was Bobby Hatfield, the righteous brother who was doing a blow and died.
Right.
This is Stephen Hatfield. Oh, in fact, you know something? What is this on? Oh, it's The Guardian. I read it the way it says it, and, of course, it's a typo. It's a misprint. His name is Stephen Hatfield, not Hatfield, you idiot. Jeez. Next, they're going to put Bud Hatfield on here, the harness driver. A federal appeals court yesterday allowed a former Army scientist to proceed with a libel lawsuit against the New York Times that claims one of the paper's columnists unfairly linked him to the 2001 anthrax killings. And, by the way, speaking of that, two things. Number one, thank you so much, Mr. President, for those low gas prices. Yeah, hey, he's still red, Billy, whatever, whichever one. And thank you for the low gas prices. And whoever sent that
anthrax
in the mail, how did we ever catch those guys?
Oh, yeah,
No.
I got them right here.
But we got a person of interest. Stephen Hatfield, he was the guy, sued the Times for a series of columns written in 2002 by Nick Kristof that faulted the FBI for failing to thoroughly investigate Hatfield for anthrax mailings that left 5 people dead. The initial columns identified Hatfield only as Mr. Z, but subsequent columns named him after Hatfield stepped forward to deny any role in the killings. Federal authorities labeled Hatfield a person of interest in their investigation. A person of interest. In a 6-6 decision with one judge not participating, the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals failed to produce a majority of judges needed to grant a rehearing and affirmed an earlier decision to reinstate the case. Hatfield, a physician and bioterrorism expert, worked in the late 1990s at the Army's Infectious Disease Lab at Fort Detrick, Maryland. In July, a 3-judge panel of the court overturned a federal judge's ruling to toss out the case, saying that Kristof's columns taken as a whole, that's with a W, might be considered defamatory. The Times had asked the court to reconsider. The case now will go back to the federal court in Alexandria unless the Times files a motion asking the U.S. Supreme Court to hear the case. How do you like that? And they're back again on here with this Horowitz guy.
All that was there was the person I loved.
How is it?
Whatever.
Seriously. Oh, and look who's on there.
Until police arrived.
Oh, thanks, friend. Your friend Grace Nancy. Is that incredible or what?
Her
Nancy
hairstyle
Grace.
is incredible.
You know something? She needs to be on this poll today.
Yes, she does.
Nancy freaking Grace.
Such a disgrace.
By the way, Nancy, we got a new law in Florida. I wouldn't come visit the Sunshine State. We got some bad weather coming this weekend. Man reports missing car but not missing child. And I see you're laughing, and I know what you're thinking, too. That's terrible. Valparaiso, Indiana. A Michigan City man called police to report his car missing, but didn't mention that his 4-month-old son had been left inside of it. Porter County police officers found the car with a boy inside around 11 o'clock Sunday night, parked in front of a home a few miles northwest of Valparaiso. Ever been to Valparaiso?
No.
Don't. They were called by the home's resident, who found the car with the driver's door open, the child inside, and nobody else around. Officers said the baby's father, William Kersey, you know how old he is?
About 30, man.
Called 2 hours later to report the car missing. Kersey called from a house about 1.5 miles from where the car was found. Police said he reported misplacing the car. How do you misplace the car?
Oh, you know, I thought
especially in Valparaiso, Indiana, and didn't acknowledge leaving his son behind until he was told officers found the baby. Investigators said Kersey told them a confusing story about chasing some people into the woods and getting lost. This kind of sounds like Susan Smith a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
Boy, there's another one. Man, oh man. I'm not really sure if I had a chance. What's this bitch on CNN, the one that I can't stand in the daytime when it's on right now? What is her name? I've got to block a brain fart on her. I'm not sure which I would like to take care of first. Huh?
Soledad?
No, the one in the midday.
I don't know.
The one that's the commentator now, not just the newsreader. She's got Kira Phillips.
Okay.
Kira Phillips or Susan Smith. Oh, boy. Invite them both to Florida. There appears to be more to the story than we were able to determine. Porter County Police Sergeant Timothy Emmons said his story seems somewhat suspicious. Yeah. Officers arrested Kersey, who was with his 4-year-old daughter on 2 counts of child neglect, an outstanding warrant. Porter County Child Protective Services took custody of both children. Kersey was being held in Porter County Jail without bond. How do you like that? See, this is what's wrong with the world, man, is people like this reproducing forced sterilization. Keep saying those 2 words. Write them down on your wrist. Write them in indelible ink on your forehead. Forced sterilization. That's what we need. Mention it to Bill Bennett, see what he comes up with. Well, what a jackass, you know. And isn't it interesting how that just kind of slid by, you know? Rush and his popping his oxys and like I said the other day, Bill O'Reilly with, you know, his phone sex and all the other stuff that's going on. And here's Bill Bennett talking about aborting all black babies to bring the crime rate down. And it's just nothing that these people do holds any water. No. Nothing. We're too worried about Yitzhak Rosenberg, whatever it is, Horowitz. 918. Now, what does that mean, 918?
I don't know.
What do you think?
What does it mean?
Not looking good?
They can do it.
920. 920 means we got we need 80 votes in 35 minutes. Well, that's not even 3 a minute. If this audience can't do that, then your mama. You'll love this story. Here's one of the best. From Bloomington, Indiana. You notice how all the good stuff comes from these kind of mugwumpy places?
Lately, yeah.
The Monroe County Jail is within 10 days of running out of most basic supplies, including toilet paper and cleaning materials, the jail commander says, because the county council wouldn't allow him to transfer funds to pay for them. They're running out of TP at Bloomington, Indiana, Monroe County Jail. On October 11th, the council voted against letting jail commander Bill Wilson, I almost said Big Wilson. Bill Wilson transfers $47,000 from surplus personnel funds to the jail supply maintenance budget. The overall request included $15,000 for basic operating supplies. Kind of sounds like QAM a little bit, where the toilets are always broken down. And Monday afternoon, Sheriff Steve Sharp and Wilson met with commissioners with a list of everyday jail supplies, including disinfectant, latex gloves, hairnets, bleach, laundry detergent, foam cups, and toilet paper that could be gone within days or by the end of the month. We need to deal with this problem or have a situation where we don't know what to do, Wilson told the Herald Times. Wilson noted that Indiana jail standards require that inmates have daily access to clean clothing and bedding, cleaning materials, and needed cleaning equipment. All kitchen equipment and floors must be cleaned daily. How do you like that? They're running out of toilet paper. How about putting a whole bunch in a carton and sending them up there, huh? Get Mr. Whipple on the case.
All right. I'll send some out of our own supply closet.
Oh, look at that. There's, what's his name from Iowa? What's his name?
To do this.
What is his name?
Yeah. That's the senator that said the BS. Tom, I'll tell you, my brain isn't functioning well today.
Well, mine either.
Tom Harkin from Iowa. That's who it is. See, it takes me like an extra second or two. That's what happens. That's when you know you're really ancient, you know? Like, what is my name again? What day is it? Where am I? We're kind of like Admiral Stockdale. Didn't he just croak a little while ago?
I think he did.
Good. 900, and look how many we got.
About 30
we got a shot.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
They finally indicted Tom DeLay. I hope they lock the crooked bastard away.
Yes.
He's gerrymandered by a guy named Ray down in Sugarland. He was the leader of the GOP, a greedy thief with a redistricting scheme, and now he's gonna face a grand jury back in Sugarland. He's called a hammer and hot tub Tom, another cockamamie Christian Tom. Despite the outcome, you can color him gone back to Sugarland. But in variety, Bush body, like Abram Mockfield, Briss and Brownie, rotting in prisons where they all should be, down in Sugarland.
133, 2702. We got Mo Meister at 2, Mad Dog at 4. And then that hurricane stuff at 7. Gaming advocates, this is the story that Hank was talking about this morning. Gaming advocates lay down the cards in the Herald. Little play on words there. Kind of, yeah. With casinos coming ashore at competing destinations on the Gulf Coast and vacationers eager to try their luck, South Florida should add gambling to its list of tourist attractions, the panel said yesterday. I wonder if Casino Stan is on top of this, you think?
No comment.
With that pasty skin and that whole... at any rate. The discussion at a gambling trade show in Miami centered on the region's potential to become a magnet for gamblers and the danger of losing its competitive edge to other locales with full-fledged casinos. Same old, same old. How many thousand years has this gone on now?
About 30, man.
Oh, brother. It's like fighting the Flat Earth Society. It's the same effort. Dade and Broward County already have almost every amenity Vegas has, said Fred Havenick, owner of the Flagler Dog Track. But the region also has beaches and relatively short flights from Northeast, two things that make South Florida a natural competitor for Sin City. Absolutely. An idiot can see that. Anybody can see that, Fred. With baby boomers poised to retire enjoying the leisure set and gaming enjoying such popularity it ranks above golf as a diversion, Florida would be foolish to turn its back on casinos, the panel argued. The gambling issue has roiled the Sunshine State for decades, it says. Casino interests promise major tax windfalls, but opponents wharf severe social cost and a dent in Florida's image as a family vacation spot. Who wants to take their family to a place where there's gambling? There's absolutely no reason we should play around with casino gambling, Miami Beach Mayor the unctuous David Dermer said in a telephone interview yesterday. He asserted casinos tend to draw tourists away from restaurants, bars, and nightclubs, businesses that make up the backbone of Miami Beach's economy. I think it's wrong for our city, he said. course, he didn't mention the fact that it brings in all these zillions of additional tourists who will eat in those restaurants, bars, and nightclubs. Florida voters last year approved referendums in Dade and Broward over adding slot machines to racetrack and high life towns. Dade said no, and thanks to your people, and Broward said yes. But the tracks are still waiting for state lawmakers to pass the regulation needed to install the machines, it says here. A very interesting understatement of the century. We're still waiting. We're waiting over here, okay? And, of course, you got the big hurricane this weekend, and then that'll be the big excuse why they can't pay attention to it for the next 3-4 weeks after that. And then it'll be like long after Sukkot. You know what I'm saying? There's always some excuse.
What are you saying?
Your mama. Though gambling already exists in Florida aboard offshore gambling boats and Indian tribes' slot parlors, including Hollywood's Hard Rock, the gaming industry has failed so far to bring in full-scale casinos. No Schmidt. If we don't go down that path, we'll risk losing a significant amount of that tourism growth to other destinations, said Mark Falcone, Managing Director of Deutsche Bank Securities Gambling Division. Deutsche Bank, how do you like that? Deutsche Bank, my ass. Chris Davidson, a lodging analyst with YPB&R, that's Young something in Rubicam. What is it? Whatever that agency is, noted Florida's enjoyed 2 strong years of tourism growth, spending up 11% last year, and 2005 looking even better. While 39% of travelers surveyed said they wanted to go to Florida, only 16% said that Nevada is a place to visit. So obviously we have to have either one or the other. You can't combine both, is what they're trying to say. Idiotic. He said the survey suggests gambling would be a plus for Florida by providing another activity to satisfy visitors. 1 in 4 travelers in the poll cited gambling as something they'd like to do, fewer than those enticed by spas, 33%, but above one of Florida's signature pastimes, golf, 15%. 25% said they'd like to gamble, only 15% said they want to play golf. Thank God. Now, how about playing golf and betting thousands on it?
See, you can work it out.
And when the survey was narrowed to people who have gambled at least once in the past 12 months, beaches ranked as the #1 diversion they look for in a vacation. Falcone also described South Florida as enjoying more success in the convention market, a key engine for Las Vegas' tourism industry, but he noted that Mississippi's decision to allow casinos after Hurricane Katrina destroyed its gambling boats will likely lead to lavish new buildings capable of drawing visitors away from Florida. Havenick, who wants slot machines at his racetrack at Flagler, a move rejected by Dade voters earlier this year, argued that Florida's ongoing hurricane woes show the danger of thinking strong tourism markets will last forever. People are going to be afraid to book a convention here or anywhere in Florida, he said. Ongoing hurricane woes. Like Wilma, for example.
Oh, my God.
I just mentioned that in passing. And they're still hocking at China about the trial here, about Sodom's trial. We got big fish to fry, baby, and once again, you people in the media filling up hours and hours with nonsense, with foolishness, with cockerai, with schweinerei, which is trafe. Just ask Gary Sarner, he'll tell you. 9:51. Boy, oh boy, we got a shot again. Well, I got something on my glasses. That's bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of glasses, let me tell you about that awful place down there. Oh, another day.
Yeah.
So let's see. We got Moman at 2. What do we got on Friday? Now, what's happening tomorrow? Probably some indictments coming down.
Let's hope.
This is the agenda. Tomorrow we get the indictments against Dick Cheney and Karl Rove and Scooter Libby and George W. And then on Friday we get the ratings book from the summertime, and George kicks big fat ass, and Greg comes in and says, "Nice job, Neil." And then on the weekend, then we got the hurricane. Pressure packed, baby. A lot of pressure. So what do we got? I got 9:51. We got 22 minutes to go for our 1,000. 9:54:46. If we're going to make the Guinness Book of Records, what we ought to be doing is start counting how many days in a row we did 1,000, right? And probably Eric can figure that out.
I'm sure he can.
Because I don't save these. Well, actually, even I could figure that out because we could go to this history thing he's got on there. Don't know much about history, but sure like that Paul Simon before he started singing those silly songs. 21 till 2 at QAM.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Absolutely.
I do now. I do. She knows all I am is hungry.
You didn't remind me to redub this, by the way.
For every girl in this world that ever has winked at me, sure I betray. So this breakup I feel is the best thing for me. Those strippers are fine. I feel 1,000 sensations when they seduce me, oh Jessica. I do cheat on you. Yes. I'll spend the rest of my life finding another hot wife. I do cheat on you. Cheating's hard to control. I guess I'm just an a-hole. I've waited to say this to you. If you think this breakup's leaving me crushed, guess again.
970 votes on that poll, only 30 away.
About 30, man.
From our 1,000 for the day. Boy, I tell you, this is a good feeling, you know what, to be able to sit down here, sit my fat ass in this chair, and know we're going to get 1,000 votes. Does it mean anything?
No.
Does anybody in the world care?
No.
Will it change the future course of human events?
No.
I got a good story about Clay Evans.
All right.
Not Clay Aiken. Clay Evans, he writes in the Boulder Daily Camera, torture in the name of Jesus. He says, many Americans stand with President Bush on virtually everything simply because he's a self-declared Christian, a once wayward man miraculously turned prayerful. The Lord has just blessed him, televangelist Pat Robertson once gushed about Bush, summing up the apparent beliefs of millions. It doesn't make any difference what he does, good or bad. God picks him up because he's a man of prayer and God's blessing him. Wow, must be nice. And you certainly wouldn't want to criticize God's anointed leader on earth, would you? I guess that explains the deafening silence of the president's minions when it comes to torture. President Bush has said time and time again that he doesn't support torture, but as is his wont, his deeds make a liar out of him. On October 5th, the Republican-controlled U.S. Senate voted 90-9 in favor of Senator John McCain's anti-torture amendment to a defense appropriations bill. But Bush has threatened to use the first veto of his presidency to kill the entire bill, which pays soldiers' salaries and funds the ongoing wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, because he opposes the provision to ban the use of cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment by the military in accordance with the U.S. Army Field Manual. This is as much about protecting U.S. personnel as anything. If we resort to cruel and inhumane treatment, we hand our enemies a dangerous excuse to torture our soldiers when they're captured. But Bush swats away such practical concerns. Evidently, God has told him that torturing other human beings is fine as long as you're born again, which is all that seems to matter to some evangelical Christians. Hey, the Crusaders and witch burners and slaveholders did it, right? This is a revolting distortion of what our Christian President Savior stood for. Sure, Jesus ripped the money changers in the temple and offered the occasional inconsistent message, for I've come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against his mother. But torture? The only person tortured in the Gospels is Jesus himself, and it wasn't pretty. Ask Gore Master Mel Gibson. When the President and his faithful lieutenants, including Colorado U.S. Senator Wayne Allard, one of the 9 loyal lapdogs who voted against the McCain Amendment, suggest that torture is a necessary response to the threat of terrorism, I wonder if he remembers what Jesus told a disciple at Gethsemane. Put your sword back in its place, for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Anyone who argues that Jesus would advocate torture is torturing the Scriptures for immoral ends. As incredulous people are now asking, who would Jesus torture? Allard, meanwhile, recently told the Daily Camera editorial board that there's been no torture or ill-treatment of detainees in the war on terror. It's all good, he says. This from a man who boasts on his website, I've worked closely with my colleagues in the current administration to spread democracy and prevent human rights violations worldwide, regardless of people's political, ethnic, or religious affiliation. Who would Jesus deceive? When the leaders we choose say it's okay to torture anyone we like and destroy whole cities in vengeance, Fallujah including women, elders, and children in retribution for the murders of 4 American mercenaries, the President should reread that whole eye for an eye passage. While claiming the mantle of Jesus, we roam the same level of earthly hell as terrorists who proclaim that Allah urges them to slaughter innocent people. Clay Evans, he ain't no Clay Aiken, but he's pretty good.
He'll do.
Huh? He'll do.
Yeah.
He'll do for a moment or two. You're like, speaking of that, Wausau, Wisconsin. After Burger King crash, this is great. After Burger King crash, man parks and eats. Well, I mean, if you're going to go to Burger King, you might as well eat something, right?
Right.
Have a Whopper or two.
You must.
977. 11 minutes, 23 votes. I just mentioned that in passing. We're not nervous about it. We need 23 mo in 11 minutes. That's 2 a minute. Nice, even math. A man whose car ran into the front entry of a fast food restaurant backed away, parked, and went in for breakfast, officials say.
Okay.
Police Patrol Inspector Brian Hiltz said 78-year-old Ruland Steppert's car struck the glass entryway of the downtown Burger King Friday in Wausau, Wisconsin. After he backed up, parked, and went inside, he was served his food, and police called to the scene found him eating at a table. General Manager Kathy Fassey declined to say what he ordered. Oh, that's what we want to know, don't we? Come on, a Whopper with cheese, a bacon Whopper with cheese.
I guess that's client, confidentiality.
Oh, that must be it. By lunchtime, glass and other debris had been cleared away and customers were able to use the normal entry, thank goodness. Because the accident was on private property, the man wasn't cited. No phone listing could be found for Stepper when the ENP tried to reach him for comment Monday night. He probably was going to say like that. Or maybe he's related to Greg. Maybe he was going to say like that. Little, 78. The South Florida crowd can relate to that. People going through the drive-thrus, creating drive-thrus where there aren't any, all of these things. 977. You click on it, see what you got.
979.
Oh, the vote 984, mister. I'm way ahead of yous. 984. We need only 16 in 10 minutes. What do you got?
987.
Like I said, I think before the break we can get to 1,000. Speaking of a Burger King, they probably some of the Iraqi citizens would love to get Burger King.
$9.90.
A United Nations human rights investigator has accused U.S. and British forces in Iraq of breaching international law by depriving civilians of food and water in besieged cities as they try to flush out militants. When in doubt, flush them out. But if the U.S. military denied the charge and said that while supplies were sometimes disrupted by combat, food was never deliberately withheld. Jean Ziegler, former Swiss sociology professor, who's a UN special rapporteur on the right to food. What is a rapporteur?
I don't know.
Huh? Is that like an agent provocateur, something like that?
Sounds just like it.
Where the hell is that? Oh, I got to find that. Here it is.
He's an agent provocateur.
Anyway, he said that in Fallujah, Tal Afar, and Samarra, Iraqi and U.S.-led forces had cut off or restricted food and water to encourage residents to flee before assaults on entrenched Sunni insurgents over the past year. A drama is taking place in total silence in Iraq, where the coalition's occupying forces are using hunger and deprivation of water as a weapon of war against the civilian population, Ziegler told a news briefing. Two 1977 protocols to the 49 Geneva Conventions, which lay down rules of conduct in armed conflicts, ban using deprivation of food or water as a weapon of war. They also prohibit destruction of food stocks or interruption of food supply lines.
1001.
Oh, we got 1,000? We did it, man. We did it. Eat your heart out, David Sampson. You didn't make it to the series, but we did it.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Mickey Mouse office. Mr. Mouse? No. Who's it? It's Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner? Hold on a second.
What are you doing answering my phone, Remus?
Sorry, boss. It's Donny Osmond.
Donny Osmond, what do you want?
It's Michael Eisner, sir.
It's not Donny Osmond. It's Michael Eisner, the past president. Oh, boy, Eisner.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm almost done with you, pal.
Sir?
I was looking at the ratings for this nightmare you had us going through. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
What a smashing success, sir.
What? That thing was in the toilet.
It was unbelievable. If you break down the demographics.
You know what, Eisner? Say that. I'm just happy it's over.
Sir, I believe the second go-around will be much better.
The second go-round? You must be on crack. We're not doing that thing again. Why do you want to bring that back? Because the first time around, you barely missed toppling the entire network?
Well, sir, it's already done.
What do you mean it's already done? Nobody ever told me it was already done. Hang on. Remus! I'm on the phone with Remus.
Yeah, but
what the hell are you doing?
Running some conduit, boss.
Do it quietly, Remus. That's not quiet enough, Remus. That bluebird stinks like an armpit.
Sir, our May sweeps will be amazing. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here, too. Instead of 15 nights, 40 straight nights.
40 nights of I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. You're killing me.
And the celebrities, 10 times better.
Oh, my God.
We've got...
Hold on. Remus? Remus?
Yeah, boss.
Take the harmonica. Yeah. Slide it up your back end. Walk it out.
All right, boss.
All right.
We've got Bernie Capel.
Who?
Bernie Capel, the doctor from the Love Boat.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, he hasn't worked since he did the Stop Snoring Spray commercial.
We've got a real hottie, Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh, my God, she's terrible.
And someone I know you'll love, Billy Bush.
Wait a minute, is that the president's annoying nephew?
That's the one.
Oh, for heaven's sake. You can't put him on there.
And the...
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Remus! Remus!
I can't hear you, boss. I'm still.
Remus, I'm on the phone.
Can't hear you, boss.
Stop drilling! What are you making?
Making a new credenza, boss.
What's wrong with my old credenza?
Your shellac-am shot.
My shellac-am shot?
That's right, shellac-am shot.
Oh.
Make a new one.
Oh. What? Oh, I don't care who you have on this nightmare.
Well, we definitely have some major A-listers, sir. We've got Scott Bakula and Leonard Nimoy.
Even Remus doesn't remember Leonard Nimoy.
Sure I do, boss.
Remus, I wasn't addressing you.
Sorry, boss, but he was Father knows best.
Oh, my God. I'm surrounded by idiots. Hey, Remus, I thought I told you to put that harmonica up your butt.
Sorry, I farted, boss.
Oh, don't fart in the office, Remus. What? The bluebird's coming at me. Here, take.
Bye, bye, bye.